This week, we look at the mundane town of Cooperstown, North Dakota, where a man had violent goals and he achieved them with horrifying results. Welcome to Small Town Murder. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Small Town Murder.
Yay!
Oh, yay indeed, Jimmy. Yay indeed. You nailed it again. Thank you so much for joining us this week. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Jimmie Whisman.
Oof, we're excited this week.
Yeah, we are.
We're very excited. We got a lot. We have a very packed episode of so much murder. We're going to shut up and give you murder pretty quick here. A couple things we have to go over really, really fast. First of all, Chicago tonight.
Right.
Tonight, if you're listening to this the day it comes out, Chicago tonight is a
you
live
there.
show. See you there. Hope you got your tickets because don't think there's any left. So
Boy, is it cold there.
it's cold, and you bastards get 2 episodes this week, so good for you. But everybody else, that's fine. Also, crimeinsports.threadless.com
That's the one.
is where you go for all of your small town murder and crime and sports merch. We have everything: shirts, mugs, bath mats, all the. There's a million different things.
Ridiculous.
Different cuts. You can get onesies that say "Shut up and give me murder" on them. It's fantastic. So head there, do that.
So funny.
They are. There's some hilarious stuff on there, so check it out. Detroit, February 16th.
Yes.
Get your tickets for the Small Town Murder Time Suck hybrid live podcast show
be
that
so
night.
fun.
It's going to be a blast. That is at the Magic Bag in Detroit. Boston.
Yes.
Boston, the 2 days after that. February the 18th,
Right.
Boston. Crime and Sports is the early show,
Right.
and Small Town Murder is the late
Right.
show. And Small Town Murder, even though it's months away, is
Right.
already almost sold out.
Right.
So we're talking about, once this actually sells out, we're probably going to add a 1 o'clock show of Small Town Murder. So
Middle of the day. We're going to be there for 9 hours with 2
you're
people.
going to kill me that weekend. That's going to be brutal. Also, live shows are new episodes.
Yeah.
These are not like a
Right.
rehash, like a
Right.
best of, not us sitting around dicking
Right.
around. We're going to do an episode.
Right.
And
We're going to have fun,
real.
goddammit. We're going to give you something new.
And March, Phoenix, Arizona.
You're goddamn right.
That's right, Phoenix, Arizona. Stand Up Live in
Right.
March. It's the 25th, I
Correct.
believe. March 25th.
That's right.
Stand Up Live. Tickets are going on sale, I believe, this week.
They should be on sale
They
now.
should be on sale while you're listening
While you
to
hear
this.
this right now.
Get your tickets today for that. That is awesome. That's our hometown, so fill it up. Don't make us look like assholes in our hometown.
Yeah,
Thank
they
you very
book us
much.
to do fucking comedy shows there whenever, like, there's headliners or whatever that need somebody.
Yes.
They book us sometimes.
Yeah.
And I'd like to fucking...
Well, they show us no respect, so let's show them that we can
Let's
pack
show
the
them
house.
that we deserve it.
And then we'll go do other clubs. Okay.
Show us
So
no respect.
iTunes reviews, everybody. Thank you so much this week for your iTunes reviews. Your outpouring is amazing.
It's
you guys,
absurd. It really is.
That keeps us going on the business end so hard. I'm telling you, that drives us up the charts.
Yep.
It really makes it look like we're doing something that matters, and it helps us immensely on the business end. We can't even explain it
Let's
to you.
disrupt their funky algorithm.
That's right. Let's do it. They have a funky algorithm, and it happens. So
I see
what
an
you can
algorithm
do?
dancing.
That's what I do. It's a little dance. Algorithms dance. It's like a little troll thing that dances with its hair all sticking up.
Shakes its fat ass.
But if you have not done it yet, please get on iTunes. Give us 5 stars. It doesn't matter what you say. It's not for our ego.
Right.
We promise. It is really just for the business end of it. So tell us anything you want. Tell us your favorite flavor of ice cream.
That's a good one.
That's a
It's
good one.
choice.
And
yeah.
I'd be any of them are good. So
the
it's
ice cream
fine.
sandwich. That's the one.
Oh, it's
the
you can't
Klondike.
go wrong there.
That Klondike ice cream sandwich is fucking absurd.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Now, if you're an even bigger person than that, that's fantastic. You're one of our heroes, one of our producers that we're going to talk about a little bit later on in the show. You can go to patreon.com/crimeinsports and you can make a donation. Every dime is immensely appreciated.
It's ridiculous.
More than we could possibly explain to you
guys have really made this show happen.
I'm telling you, guys
I can't say it any other way.
You're killing it on that. Thank you so much. It really helps us out enormously and makes the show so we can do it and we can put all the effort we can into the show. So thank you guys for that.
I reply to so many comments, emails, whatever, with "we can't do this without you," and I'm not fucking just
we're
cliche
serious.
writing that. I'm dead serious.
And if you want to make a one-time donation, you can do that, and it is insanely appreciated as well. It's just as good. Over at PayPal, you can use our email address, which is crimeinsports@gmail.com.
Crime in sports.
Crime
like
in
IN,
sports.
Right? Not
like
out?
in. No, not out. Not over. Not up. Not down.
Crimeinsports@gmail.com.
You can do that and make a one-time donation. And like we said, God, every dime, every dollar, people donate $1, we're amazed by it. It's thank you so much for that. It doesn't matter what you donate. Just thank you so much for all of that. Before we get to the murder, we do have to do the disclaimer very quickly. It's a comedy podcast.
It happens.
It is. It's a comedy podcast. The research is real. All the cases are real. Everything's real. Facts are real. There's going to be jokes in here.
Happens.
So if you don't think that comedy and true crime go together, this probably isn't for you. It just isn't, I'm sure. Now, that's on you because it's not bad.
No.
We don't say horrible things.
It's not that bad.
We don't make jokes at the expense of the victims or the victims' families. We go out of our way to try to be human beings. We are assholes, but we are not scumbags.
That is the truth.
So without further ado, we will shut up and give you murder. Let's do this. Let's go on a trip, Jimmy.
All right.
Let's head on a trip. Last week, we're in Nevada.
Yeah, so hot.
It was hot. It was a little barren. Sheriff's department everywhere. It's very strange. Thomas Lennon running around in his tiny shorts. It was a little weird. We're going to go up north.
Okay.
Get your park on, Jimmy.
Okay.
We're going into the cold this week.
Smidge cold, huh?
Smidge cold. We're going to Cooperstown, North Dakota.
There's already one of those.
Yeah, no, they decided we're going to add another one. This one is not the one with the Hall of Fame.
There's one that's great. There's one that there's a reason for people to be there.
When a baseball player's doing very well and they go, he's headed to Cooperstown, they don't mean here. I promise you, they do not mean this Cooperstown at all.
All right.
There is not a hall of anything here, fame or otherwise.
Okay.
This is just, it's in the East Central.
I like the beginning. You said the mundane town.
I'm telling you, mundane is the best way to describe this town. It's not. There's just not much happening.
Yeah.
Not much happened.
Yeah.
Wait till we get to things to do. You're going to be like, whoa, that's okay. Yeah, it's mundane. That's what they got going on. It's weird. It reminds me of like some sort of like rural Russian town or something like the way it's so. We'll get to it anyway. East Central part of the state, in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Right.
I mean, this is small town murder.
I love middle of nowhere towns. Like when you're driving and you're just like fucking exhausted,
and you're going, what? Who lives there?
Right.
There's just an exit with like a one food thing on the sign and like a gas station. You're like, who lives there? And you see houses. You're like, people live there,
right? And there's houses everywhere.
People
they
fucking
dot
people
a fucking
live
hillside.
there. Yes, and people live here. It's an hour and a half away from Fargo, which isn't a booming metropolis either, and it's 2.5 hours to Bismarck. So
that's the capital,
correct?
That's
the capital. Right. It is not. It's in the middle of nowhere.
And is Bismarck with a CK?
That is a CK.
That's
Bismarck.
The dumbest
it
shit.
Absolutely is.
Fucking assholes.
Why are you doing that?
Right.
It's in Griggs County.
Okay.
It's actually the county seat of Griggs County.
Okay.
And this is a tiny town, so this is the county seat of your county. You're saying how small your county is.
Right.
Griggs County, the whole county has 2,400 people in it.
The whole county.
The whole county, and it's like a European country. This
every
goddamn
town
county.
in there. If there was a
huge.
murder, we could cover it. Every fucking one
town,
of them.
There's any town in here, but there's not even that many towns here. It's just there's nothing there. It's literally like woof. You just look out over the horizon, put your hand over your eyes, like wow, what is that? A couple houses there?
Yeah.
Why? What the hell happened? What made you stop here?
Right.
Why? It is a small place. Zip code 58425, area code 701. So if anybody boring calls you from there, you know why. 0.97 square miles. It's a little tiny town.
Yeah.
Little tiny town in the middle of nowhere.
One square mile almost.
That's what this
almost.
is. This is an exit.
We're almost something.
Literally, this is an exit. Where, like I say, you see a couple of food and a gas, and there's a little like a motel thing, and you're like, who lives there? These people live there.
Is this the town of almost like everything's just almost something? Like 0.97, almost a square mile.
Well, it's funny because their town slogan actually touts something completely different.
Really?
Not an almost, not even close to an almost.
Right.
They're very grandiose about it. The town slogan, quote, unlimited possibilities.
Unlimited.
I assure you, the possibilities are quite limited. I promise you that. There's 0.97 square mile. It's a very tiny place. I can't think of a possibility, honestly. That's not even unlimited. They could have said, there's a possibility, and I would have went, no, there isn't actually. It's boring. I would argue that. So
unlimited possibilities of how to be to kill yourself?
Pretty much, yeah. That's it. Unlimited possibilities of how to drown yourself in a stream while trout fishing. Griggs County, the county here, is settled in 1879 by, I guess Americans, or you could say. I'm sure Canadians were there too. I'm sure there's some trapping going on.
Unlimited possibility.
Unlimited possibility. It became an organized county in 1881. Mm-hmm. At the time, it's okay. What's part of what's now Griggs County and the western part of Steele County, that was the county at the time.
Yeah.
And after an election, Cooperstown became the county seat.
Got it.
For Griggs County. But there was a town called Hope. Hope. It sounds like a nice town.
Jesus.
No, they wanted to have They wanted to be the county seat. So they went and stole the county records at gunpoint from Cooperstown.
Holy shit.
Literally, they were like, we're going to go to the next town and get their fucking records. We're not robbing a bank.
No.
We're taking their records, and we're saying we're the county.
Right.
Well, you say you're the county seat, but we have all the records, so how's that work? That's how they're going to do it. What is that?
That's fucking crazy.
That's where we are.
Is.
That's the West. You know what I mean? This is nuts. We're going
Can
over
you do that?
Can
you just go steal the records from San Francisco and just say, I'm San Francisco
I'm
now?
the county seat. Yeah, just go take them all and go, that's it. Me, Bob, Jim, we all came in here.
We're
guns
in,
blazing. We took the records. So guess what? County seat. Sorry. I don't know. It's
the records matter that whoever holds what's written.
Well, you can't be how can you be the county seat when we have all the records? I'm just asking you that right off the bat. How's that going to work here?
That's unbelievable. We should just go take everybody's license.
Why not?
You're not Donald Trump anymore. I have the license.
Yeah, I'm this now. That's fine. They ended up catching these people in the end. Like I don't know if the Pinkertons came in or what back then. They had a try. They were going to have a trial to try these people, but they ended up having a big compromise, and they ended up making separate Griggs and Steele counties.
Okay.
They said, okay, Hope, you can be the county seat of that county, and we'll stay over here.
They gave them half the paperwork.
Pretty much. Here, you have this half. This is the east part. Okay, you take this one.
This is
super
so weird.
Yeah, it's the railroad came around this time in 1882. They built a courthouse in 1884. By 1910,
what a bizarre pissing match. Why would they do that?
I don't
understand.
know
What's the fucking?
The only thing I could think is something to do with elections. Like you could, they probably thought maybe they were going to cheat them on election results, and they were going to get all their people in the county. Because if you watch Deadwood, it's an HBO show. Not sure if you heard of it. If you watch Deadwood, it's a big deal. County commissioners and all of this, when things are annexed and counties are starting, they're all like shuffling. Al Swearingen's sending away for county commissioners to talk to this one. Who's in town? I got to talk to him. Jesus, he almost died fighting Bullock, and he had a terrible stone, but it came out, but it didn't matter anyway. He still propped himself up at the desk so he could talk to the guy. It seemed important. Never mind, that doesn't matter. But back then, this was an important deal because you'd put people into power, and they could levy taxes. They could do things that would take deeds away. Like that was a big deal in Deadwood, as they were sitting in here. What's going to happen? Are they going to say that gold claims aren't official anymore?
Right.
This whole deal. So I think that's probably.
It sounds like
it's some prospector Old West shit.
Yeah, it's government on a small scale, but it's like it's an HOA on a little larger scale.
It's basically
this is why I hate people that like being in an HOA and being on the board of that stuff. You sound like an asshole.
It's a bunch of people here running around yelling "consarn" all the time. I feel like that's it, like with their mining pan. By 1910, there was 1,019 people here.
Okay.
So it was started to grow a little bit. Now the people now, it's funny because that was 1910. In 2010, population 945.
Wow.
So
they lost 10 people.
They lost some people from 1910.
That's amazing.
In 100 years.
In 100 years, it shrunk.
Yeah, at a certain point, shrunk. In the 60s, it was up to almost 1,500.
Oh.
And it just kind of died from there. Population's down 24% from 1990. So it's a little town that's just slowly dying. And we'll find out why, because I believe it's an age thing. I don't think people are leaving so much as the median age here is 51.3.
Oh, Jesus.
That's an older town.
Yeah.
37.4 is the median and nationally. So. Yeah, 51.3.
The average is 51.
That's a lot. That's a little older for a town. So you can see why people are dying off, I feel like. Female population, and this is another reason why I feel like they're old, female population's almost 56%, which is way out of whack, and that's because women tend to live longer, I feel like. So I think maybe that's what's throwing it off here. I found a pretty cool thing here, and it's the most common first names among deceased individuals from Cooperstown.
This is great.
So like old people names of people that are died. There are 15 Johns, 14 Claras. That's a shitload of Claras.
Yeah.
Do you know anyone named
one
Clara?
In my entire life.
14
and
Claras.
She right now is 92 years old.
13 Arthurs.
That's a cool name.
12 Helens, 11 Williams, 10 Clarences, 9 Martins.
The Spanish community keeps that Arthur going. Like
they do.
Arturo.
Yeah,
that's
they
a
like
popular
that one.
name.
Yeah. Esther is 9.
That's a shit name.
Oscar is 9, and Florence is 9. So
all the men's names are like Spanish names that they keep those going. Like Oscar's still popular.
Or Englishified either way. anglified.
All those white names of women are going the fuck away, though.
Yeah,
thanks to Abigail and Lily and.
They're coming back now, though.
Yeah,
people are naming their daughters like old-fashioned names.
Nobody's
now.
naming their kid Esther, though.
They are.
Are they really? No.
Absolutely.
Get out of
Esther
my
has
life. Are you
become
serious?
Popular, I swear.
What a horrible name.
Every old lady name you can think of, there are tons of babies with that name right now. Little toddlers running around. Yeah, you bet your ass there are.
Poor little girl.
Tons of little. Come here, Florence.
Yeah.
Little weird named Esther.
Esther's a garbage
Lily,
name, though.
All of these names. Literally, all these
horrific.
old person. Clara is a popular name now.
I could see that being a cute baby name, though. Clara,
and then she's got to grow up.
The way you say it with your New York accent, though.
Hey, Clara. What the fuck's wrong with you, Clara? That's one of those words that no matter what I do, it's coming out. They can't help it. It's happening.
I call her Clara. You call her Clara.
It's happening. It's like horrible. I can't.
I tend to say that though because of you.
Well,
because it puts an extra sting on it. It makes it a little more horrible.
It sounds
when it's
like
horrible.
there's disdain in it at that point. You know.
It sounds like it also stinks.
It's probably married population here in Cooperstown 60%, which is 10% higher than normal. So again, older people tend to be married. Less single people, obviously. Half the population have never married as usual.
Really?
So these people are goddamn getting married. I guess they're bored. Like you got to hook up with someone and sit there to have someone to stare at.
Yeah.
You know, what are we staring at the sunset? Okay, well, I'll sit here with you and stare at the sunset. Otherwise, I'm going to be sitting by myself staring at the goddamn sunset.
I found a Clara. I better stick with her.
This Clara
this
is
may
going
be
to
the
work
last
for me.
one.
It's
going
to work for me.
The very last Clara ever. I may stick with her.
And more evidence of elderly, super high. Almost 60% of the people are married with no children.
Okay.
That says old at that point because they're not children anymore. Right. Race of this town. I'm going to give you a guess.
Oh, it's Snow fucking White.
No. Actually, it's a huge community of people from the Congo, Jimmy. It's very strange.
It's a very Cuban society.
There's a Cuban section of town. 0.35 square miles of the 0.97 is Little Havana.
Yeah.
It's very, very. There's restaurants there, clubs.
They call it Majority Havana.
That's true. Yeah, you can hear the music bumping down the. Yeah, it's very good.
As you pass their welcome
echoing
sign.
Throughout the plateaus or the buttes or whatever the fuck's out there. I have no goddamn idea. 98.98% white.
That's all white,
That
babe.
is super white. 0.83% black.
Okay.
So there's like
0.83%?
0.83%.
That's pretty good. That's
there's
like
like
7.
8 black people there. That's not bad. 7, 8 black
Not
guys. 0.19% Hispanic. So it's not it's
and that's
white.
about it.
It's a white town. 62% of the people are religious here, which 50 is the norm. So this is on the higher. This is like down south level numbers here. 9.28% Catholic.
Yep.
I don't know where the hell they came from. Why they're there. No Mormons. No 0.
No Mormons.
No Mormons.
That close to Utah. Still no Mormons.
It's not very close to Utah.
Well, I guess.
It's up and over. This is over by Minnesota and stuff.
This is closer to Canada than
more
Utah.
Yeah, exactly. 0.0% Jewish, 0.0% Muslim, as you might
But those
expect.
Mormons, they like to go hide in the snow.
They do like to hide in the snow. I don't understand.
There's going to be tons of that here.
There is less than 1,000 people. There are 7 churches and 2 Bible camps in the area.
In a square mile, they got 7 churches, and 2 Bible camps.
So that's like, just to keep the doors open, everyone has to go to church. Like, you have to have 60% of the people be religious to have 7 churches. Like,
they've got more churches than anything else.
No, that's it. Yeah, I'll guarantee they have more churches than, restaurants or, something like that. Voting wise, about 40% Democrat, about 57% Republican.
That makes sense.
So, North Dakota is a pretty red state. A couple of weird little details here. It is Cooperstown. They have these lists that they compile, like top 101 cities with the most whatever.
Oh, boy.
This is top 101 cities with the most residents born in Romania, with a population of over 500 for
There's
the town.
something to be proud of.
They're number 32 on the list of
Really?
that. Number 72 on the list of top 100 zip codes with the largest percentage of Norwegian first ancestries. This is the Sahara Desert fart fact of the week, by the way, everybody, in case you've been wondering.
It's a migrant-ass town, I guess?
150 Norwegian first ancestries. We're talking like in the 1800s.
Okay.
This is like... Clara and Clarence were married from Norway, and I don't know if those are.
You found Clarence out of that because of the CL.
That's Clara.
CLA,
Clarence.
Right?
Well,
to that.
I thought they'd be a funny
you
couple.
You went in the alphabet.
I thought they'd be a funny couple if it was Clarence and Clara.
It's CLA. way hard.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And see how Clara is the root word of Clarence.
Pretty
what
much.
the fuck is that?
It's a male
That's so
Clarence.
weird.
Number 32 on the list of top 101 counties with the largest number of people without health insurance coverage in the year 2000.
Shit.
Yes.
We're going to fly you there.
Perfect. That's so I could be with my people. Number 36 on the list of...
Keep all you fuckers with
nothing. We'll all die together. Top 101 counties with the highest...
One person's going to get the flu and wipe out that whole town.
That's it. This
That's
actually
what it
fits.
is, yeah.
Top 101 countries with the highest number of deaths per 1,000 residents, 2007 to 2013.
Highest rate of death, so they're just dying.
They're because they're so old, too. I think that. They're old and they have no health insurance.
And they were number 37
on that list? They were number
36
on that list. So
Holy shit.
None of those things are really positives, I guess, unless you're really into Romanian culture or something like that. None of them really seem great, but whatever. Unemployment rate in this town is about half of the normal rates, less than 3%, which is ridiculous, but there's enough. It's so small that you can go, will you give Bill a fucking job already? God damn it. Hire him, please. He's just walking around downtown. He's wandering.
Bill, just go work. In that town, you could be a church janitor and fucking kill it. You could be president of the town.
If you're unemployed here, they probably have a meeting about you at Bible camp. They have a meeting. They're like, listen, Bill's got no job.
What a horrible meeting.
I've seen him. He's just at the grocery store wandering. We all know he has no money. He's just shuffling. Now,
what are you doing at the grocery store, Bill? You're not buying anything.
We really got to do something here about Bill. I think that's what happens here. Household income here, average being about $54,000 in the country. Household income in this town is a little under $43,000, so a little less than average, but I don't know, not terrible for the middle of nowhere.
That sounds like Social Security income. For sure.
That's 43 is higher than that.
Is it?
Yeah. No one's getting 43 grand in Social Security. I don't think.
That does seem like an awful lot.
Old people eat cat food and shit, like to stay afloat. I don't think that their fixed income doesn't mean like 44 grand a year by yourself in North Dakota.
Sad.
It's very sad. I don't mean it like it's a good thing.
So I worked in a job where I would work outside a lot, and I was walking to go into a backyard for work, and I saw an old lady shit into a grocery bag.
That's very nice. I don't know.
In her backyard.
Wow. Why not do it in the house?
I didn't. So when I walked
even
to
if
the
your toilet
gate,
doesn't work, you have a room.
Maybe she's just turning into a cat. I assume she probably ate cat food too.
That's it. It makes you. Maybe that's why cats makes you shit outside. She bury it afterwards. The question.
I turned the fuck around. So I walked into the backyard. I didn't realize what was happening, and I went to say good morning, and I heard the shit hit the plastic bag.
That is terrible. That's a bad day for her too. I don't think she expected that today.
And I stood there with my mouth open, and I just walked out. I didn't even say anything. She may not. To this day, she may not have known that somebody saw her do that.
Let's hope she went to her grave not knowing that the electric guy walked in and saw her shitting in a bag like a fucking cat. Cat shit in bags.
Unbelievable thing I've ever seen.
The jobs here, there are bag shitting is a very popular profession. The agriculture, forestry, fishing, hunting. They do a lot of. There's forestry here. There's things like that. There's lumber. It is over 10% of the jobs. It's normally about 1% of the jobs. So it's a rugged area. It's that sort of thing. Manufacturing jobs are higher. Construction's a higher rate. Everything else is lower. Retail, trade, technical services, professional, education. Healthcare is a little higher, but social assistance because you have old people there.
Sure.
But other than that, it's pretty much kind of blue collar kind of town where seem to. I assume there's oil nearby. There's a lot of oil fields up there. I'm sure guys drive to go to the oil field and that sort of thing.
There is.
Cost of living, 100 is par, as we say. Here it's 90, so a little less than the average of cost of living. Housing is the low one though here.
Okay.
Healthcare, groceries, things like that are a little higher because you're in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Yeah.
If you want food there, you practically have to fucking airdrop it. So it's going to be. You're like Berlin in 1947. It's hard to get you shit, so it's going to be more expensive.
Rice coming everywhere.
You know it, those little peanut butter slurry things they send to poor African kids over there.
Butter slurry.
Yeah, they give them like a peanut butter slurry thing that's full of nutrients and they eat it.
Like a sleeve of it? Kind of like a Go-Gurt?
Exactly. No, more like a Capri Sun.
Oh, okay.
Like a Capri Sun, you cut
like
the top off and roll it up and squeeze it into your mouth. And,
vile.
It apparently makes you not die. So I don't know.
It's a lifesaver.
It's one of those things. Housing here is a 60 out of 100. So very low. Median home cost is about $111,000. So not bad at all. The 26% of the homes are between $80,000 and $100,000.
Got it.
So very affordable. And if we've convinced you to move to Cooperstown, North Dakota, we have for you the Cooperstown, North Dakota Real Estate Report. Let's do it. First of all,
God, it's so good.
Love this. Two-bedroom apartment here will run you about $653 a month.
That's very affordable.
That's if there's any two-bedroom apartments there, but that's $400 less than the national average. I found a two-bedroom, one-bath house. It's about 970 square feet. Good for an old lady and a cat, I would say.
For sure.
She's got a spare room for her knittings, things like that. It's 970 square feet, $32,000.
Wow.
So you can Social Security or not, you can, even if you have to shit in a bag and eat cat food, you can probably afford that house for everybody. So
that is so cheap.
That's a good pitch, I think, too. Even if you shit in a bag, this house is for you. Three-bedroom, two-bath, 1,500 square foot house. So that's, it's like a decent house for you got a couple of kids, whatever. $69,000.
Wow.
On the inside too, it didn't look bad. Like I looked into it, I'm like, maybe it's a wreck on the inside. Maybe it hasn't been updated since the 1870s or something.
It's got blue shag carpet or some shit.
I'm thinking of 1800s. It's got like elk skin on the wall to like keep the cold out.
Dirt floors,
shit like that. Yeah, no, it's not that bad. $69,000.
That's as cheap as a fucking pickup truck these days.
That's not bad. I found a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 2,900 square foot house. This shit's hooked up inside too. There's like a 4-car garage. This is like if you're doing well up there. You're running the oil field.
Right. Or you're a pastor.
200. Yeah, all those churches. $299,000, and that's like a really hooked up house.
That's a fucking mansion though. There.
Not bad at all. Things to do. Okay, this is what they're proud of here.
Okay.
Things to do.
I love when you say this is what they're proud of.
Yeah, this is like what they're touting on their shit. Like you come here, you go here first.
This is your thing.
You come to Cooperstown. Cooperstown has the Hall of Fame.
They got a baseball place. Big deal.
You want to go see Babe Ruth's jersey?
Right.
Great, that's fine.
Knock yourself
out. The bat
out.
he used to hit a home run that he called in the World Series. That's great. We have the Ronald Reagan Missile Site 555.
The what?
The Ronald Reagan Missile Site 555.
What does that even mean?
It is a missile launch, like it's
nukes. A pad?
It's one of our nuke sites where they have missiles that were aimed at Russia all through the Cold War.
How about we don't show that to people?
We put them in the middle. Oh, no, you have a tour. Interpretive tours are available daily. For the topside living quarters at Oscar Zero Launch Control Facility, as well as interpretive tours bottom side of the launch control facilities and mechanical room.
Jesus.
So get over there, launch some nukes while you're at it.
Get over here and we'll give you all the fucking top secret security clearance stuff how we defend our country.
Oh, yeah.
Come look at this.
Check it out. Well, this is how we defended our country 30 years ago, I guess.
Yeah,
I don't think this is
if you look at it, you probably can get a pretty good idea of what they have today.
I suppose this is this is some old school shit though. It's called America's Ace in the Hole, North Dakota and the Cold War.
Okay,
that's the exhibit. So it's
right.
One of those. I don't know how much.
It looks like it's about as technologically advanced as the movie War Games.
It's probably
You're not looking at War Games and going, that's how they're going to do it today.
Super Nintendo probably has more, like from the 90s, has more technology.
To this shit.
It received the 2010 Governor's Travel and Tourism Award as the state's outstanding attraction of the year.
Amazing.
So
outstanding attraction of the year.
That tells you how many great attractions are in the entire state of North Dakota. What we just described, attraction of the year, everybody. Attraction of the year.
An exhibit about the Cold War.
Pack the kids up in the car. We're going to see the topside living quarters over at the missile site 555. Everybody pile in. No, we'll get you T-shirts when we get there.
I'd be afraid that some pie-faced, sticky-hand kid would hit a button that they didn't know they didn't disconnect.
Yeah, right.
I'd be terrified of that.
Jesus, what the hell kind of outing is that? Fuck.
Some sticky fuck jamming his Go-Gurt fingers all over some
terrible
nukes. What the fuck?
Crime rate here, what we are interested in is it's actually just average, and it's these small towns when we're under 1,000 people. It's really just it's average.
The numbers just get so fucked.
Average in property, average in violent. So
it's hard to deduce anyway and come to a conclusion on what's going on.
Yeah, if one guy decides to break in a couple cars, that skews the whole town, screws everything up. So it's one of those deals. But it doesn't matter. Let's talk about a guy who grew up on a farm near Cooperstown, shall we?
Yeah.
This guy, sounds mild, right? Grows up on a farm.
Yeah.
Kurt Douglas Johnson.
No.
Not Kirk Douglas Johnson, but Kurt Douglas Johnson.
Isn't there a Kurt Douglas?
It's Kirk Douglas.
I think there's also a Kurt Douglas.
I do not think there's a Kurt Douglas.
There probably is a Kurt Douglas, and he's probably
somewhere.
He means nothing to anybody.
Nothing to anybody. But
we also have one here.
As far as the movie stars go, there is a Kirk Douglas, and then Michael Douglas is his son.
Right.
And so
that's the guy with the throat cancer.
Michael Douglas,
right.
Yes,
and he got it from Catherine Zeta-Jones' vagina. That's what they say.
I don't know. That's debatable.
But then he took her back. Like, what a nice guy. Well, if my wife gave me the flu, I'll get a divorce.
She didn't give him HIV.
No, she gave him HPV.
Yes, but that's very common, though. That's excessively common.
Yeah, but it's not common to get throat cancer from it.
Half the population.
Yeah, but she gave him some vicious stuff.
Yeah, but I feel like if his hold on 1 second. I feel like if his pond was open to the breeding ground of whatever, then that's on him. I feel like to get cancer
because he didn't take his Centrum.
I guess so. Yes, he didn't take his Centrum. He didn't take his whatever the hell
from A to Zinc. James.
There you go. What is the other one old people take? I don't even remember.
I don't know. Jamie Lee Curtis has to.
He just tried to read He tried to read AARP to cure it, and that didn't work. So now he's got cancer. Oh well. But
if my wife gave me the flu, I'm telling you, I'm divorced.
This is that's you. Jesus. That's very nice, Jimmy. You are gonna the female population is gonna love you on that. That's nice. That's the kind of support you want to get. Listen, honey, I know that this is, but I'm upset with you for this, and we're getting divorced now.
I'm throwing up for the next 3 hours. We're getting a divorce.
That is terrible. So Kurt Johnson, who does not have throat cancer, and definitely never went down on Catherine Zeta-Jones, I would assume. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say this guy's never gone down on Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Okay.
I don't know.
Probably right.
I don't know for a fact, but you know what? I'm going to go out on a limb and say that.
We'll find him and we'll ask him. And then we'll make a bet on it.
That's true.
And the bet is going to be nothing because you're going to win. I already know you're going to win.
I don't think he went down.
There's no way.
There's a possibility. Well, he grew up in Cooperstown, graduated.
James, this town is anything's possible. Isn't that what it is?
That's unlimited possibilities, Jimmy.
Listen, he could have done it.
Is that why? Maybe that's how they got the slogan. Maybe
Did you go down on California?
As I say, the town slogan was something else. And then he came into the town meeting.
Told everybody went down on Catherine Zeta-Jones, and they were like, "We don't believe you." And
they're talking about Bill in there.
Unlimited possibilities.
They're talking about Bill. They want to get Bill a job at the meeting, and he just bursts in the door. Both doors swing open. He's like, "I went down on Catherine Zeta-Jones." They're like, "We're gonna hold on," and they bang the gavel. We're gonna switch this meeting from instead of finding Bill a job, we need to rename the town to give the motto a different one because
a good one.
Clearly, the possibilities are unlimited at this point in time. So let's do this. He graduated in high school in 1974. He graduated from North Dakota State University.
Okay.
So this is a North Dakota boy.
Educated, too.
Educated. Oh, yeah. He's got a bachelor in construction management.
Yeah.
He and his family then moved to Bismarck. He served 9 years. He was a senior engineer for the North Dakota Department of Transportation.
Great.
He's into like highway design and shit like that. Yeah. Then he moved with his family to Champaign, Illinois. He had 3 kids and a wife at the time.
Okay.
He worked for ERES Consultants, Inc. They specialized in pavement engineering.
Okay.
So this is a boring guy.
Yeah.
This is.
Boring, yes, but he's doing it.
He might not be boring.
He's doing great.
Oh, he's doing fine for himself. But I mean, like, this isn't like
in terms of career.
This isn't
the word
like
I'm looking
he
for?
doesn't come home from work and go down on Catherine Zeta-Jones. Is what I'm talking about.
No.
They were like, "Hey, tell me about that pavement, baby," and he's like, "Come on, honey, let's get it on. Let's do. I don't care."
This guy tugs over the toilet.
You're
sure.
so hot. You can give me 12 kinds of cancer, and I'm okay with it. That's how this guy would be. But he comes home from Champaign, Illinois. He goes to Falls Church, Virginia. For 10 years, he's a project manager at one of these companies that does this sort of thing in Washington, D.C., and he commutes from Virginia. So this guy's got a nice career going for himself. He had a family.
Yeah.
In 2003, he returned. He comes back to North Dakota, and he's going to be a transportation research engineer with the Upper Great Plains Regional Transportation Institute.
Sweet Jesus.
He's also contracted with North Dakota Department of Transportation.
Yep.
And he works with graduate students at North Dakota, North Dakota State University, his alma mater, and he kind of helps them with technical things and had, people in the same program as him.
Yeah.
He's kind of like a
Like-minded
mentor.
individuals
He's like a
talking about
mentor
right.
to college kids.
Talking shop.
Exactly. Talking shop, getting in there. And I think he just enjoys the work because, he's stuck with it. He's gone to different places and he does extra things. He's going to help out kids at his alma mater. So I think he's, I think this is a genuine interest for him and a passion for pavement engineering.
What a job.
Something like that. It's one of those things where someone has to be a pavement engineer. Yeah. At some point, someone has to go, how do we make this shithole cars? Right. Like a whole shitload of cars. How do we make that happen? Because I don't know how to do that.
Right.
If they said to you, engineer this road so it wouldn't collapse, would you know where to start?
I could make it flat.
I could get a fucking bulldozer out. I could level the place.
I can make the fucker flat. But actually, that's the part. I'm terrified of bridges. I hate bridges so much. So much.
I don't like them either.
And the worst is in traffic when you have to actually stop on it.
That's the worst.
And when cars are going the other way and you can feel that fucker flop, that's the worst feeling in the world.
No, that's what I mean. Like,
this guy knows
about weather.
Right.
Like, you can't crack in the cold. You can't buckle if there's like all this different shit.
You gotta know how both sides can handle pressure.
You have to be interested in that.
If this guy sitting in traffic feels that wave and does that wave because
and he knows why, and he's trying to figure out how to get rid of that wave.
Right.
He's like,
and I'm sitting there going, get rid of this fucking wave because I'm freaking out.
I'm on it. Don't worry. The throat cancer won't take me before I figure it out. It's fine. I got this covered. On a personal level, he liked working on his house, gardening.
Sure.
He had a hunting shack on Paradise Valley Road where he liked to hunt big bucks. Things like that. So
good Christ.
He's just a guy who grew up in North Dakota and did his thing, and he likes to shoot bucks. And
you're a hunter. Good for you. Enjoy it, whatever. But this guy's got such a boring fucking life.
Yeah, he needs to shoot something. This fucking
just
guy.
To get some excitement.
He attended Saron Evangelical Free Church and the Cooperstown Bible Camp. Mm-hmm. He was involved in both of those, so he's helping kids out at his alma mater. He's volunteering at churches and Bible camps and figuring out how to stop the road waves from going on.
Salt of the earth guy.
Salt of the earth guy kind of a thing. And sitting in a boring town in North Dakota that he grew up in. Right. He went back home, this guy. He's like, I'll go back to that place.
He left. He went to Champaign. He went to Bismarck.
D.C.
He went to the fucking capital.
He went to D.C. for Christ's sake.
God.
And he was like, nope, going back there.
Not for me.
But that's a guy who likes it here. It's not like he's a small town guy who never left.
Right.
He
went and got the taste of it.
He saw other things and went, nope, I like it there.
Right.
I want to sit out on my porch and wait for the big bucks to come by. And I
shoot them while I have my morning coffee.
That's it. I want to do that. I want to figure out I want to figure out their pavement.
Right.
Virginia, your pavement's your own fucking problem now. He also, this was in 2003, he moved back to Cooperstown.
Gotcha.
He also worked out of his home as an associate research fellow for North Dakota State University for the Upper Great Plains Transportation Institute, and he did that from home, and he also had an office.
Yeah.
He lives in Cooperstown. North Dakota State University is in Fargo, which is an hour and a half away.
Got it.
So I don't know if you can really commute every day, but maybe he comes in once a week and, whatever, gives a, who knows, hands in his
Talks
paperwork.
Talks about some asphalt and fucking moves along.
Yeah, that's the thing. Maybe they have to have like a social asphalt meeting. They have the church meeting to talk about Bill. They have the asphalt meeting to talk about waves. He's divorced. That's when he moved back to Cooperstown, was when he got divorced. That's what sent him back there because, you're out there. You're like, I'm going home. He got divorced. He has 3 adult kids that are grown up. Yeah. So he's like, I'm going home.
The divorce pushed him back home, though?
Yeah, he got divorced and his kids were older, so he just moved back home, and so he's living there.
Seems like a sad commute back.
Yeah, that would be a sad commute back. Just from D.C.
You got
to
adult
there.
kids. You're going from rural.
You're alone.
You're going from an actual metropolis where they pass laws for this whole fucking country.
Yes,
and he's alone on that drive.
To North Dakota.
Where there's 900 people.
Well, you know what, though? Maybe he can raid the next town, get their county records, and we'll see what the hell happens there.
He can be king of the road.
That could be a possibility here.
And now back to the show.
So 2010, we'll go to. So we've gone on a trip. Now we'll go back in time. Not too long. 2010. He's been living in Cooperstown for 7-8 years, kicking around back home. He's got friends. He's got university things. Sure. He's got things that he's doing. He's a member of the community. He's got stuff going on. He's not a hermit. He's not Ted Kaczynski sitting in a hunting shack waiting for the big buck. He's a known guy. He's a known entity. Okay. A friend of his, we'll go to December 31st, 2010.
Okay.
It's New Year's Eve.
Almost 2011.
Almost 2011. Yeah, it's so confusing when people say New Year's Eve this day. Was that year or the next year? Because people will do it both ways. So it's New Year's Eve. You party. Nobody parties.
Boy.
There's Times Square. You know what I mean? They do a big thing in Vegas, too. They drop the ball in Times Square. None of that shit compares to the pageantry and the pure just debauchery and hedonism of New Year's Eve.
I love that word.
In Cooperstown, North Dakota. Unlimited possibilities.
Unlimited.
Jimmy. Holy shit. You don't even know. So, it's he's out about in the town on New Year's Eve in Cooperstown, December 31st, 2010. Kurt Johnson, he's hanging out in different bars. He's hanging out with a friend of his named Annie Somers.
Okay.
She saw him at the Coachman Inn in Cooperstown, which is like a little bar restaurant type deal. She works there, and she knows him, and everybody knows everybody in this town.
Of course.
And especially if you work in like the restaurant or one of the bars, you know fucking everybody.
Well, you spend time with them because
everyone's come in at some point. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things.
And it's not just that. It's like if you work in the general store, people come in, you meet them, whatever.
Yeah.
But if you work at the restaurant, you're sitting there with them for like half hour, 45 minutes at a time.
If you're a bartender, you're going to talk.
Oh, but a bartender, forget it. That guy knows everything.
Well, this is a woman, Annie Somers.
I mean the bartender.
Yeah, absolutely. So she saw him at the Coachman Inn.
Okay.
He said he was leaving. Said I'm taking off because there's like a little area with like 3 bars. There's the Coachman Inn, the Oasis Bar, and the Fishbowl.
Okay.
And they're all kind of like the Oasis Bar and the Fishbowl, I think, are across the street from each other. Okay. And then the Coachman Inn is kind of around the corner, away from that Fishbowl riffraff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
away from the party kids.
We're fucking classy over here, all right? We don't have to play this shit.
Those kids in their 30s over there at the Fishbowl.
Punks. Young punks.
Fucking young
whippersnapper. Imagine being a teenager in this town.
Oh, Christ.
Holy shit, my God.
Being called the most old-timey phrase
it's like the Footloose town, you know what I mean? You're just fucking kids going to the edge of town to dance. Like, we're going to go to the hunting shack and dance tonight. You in? Yeah. Big act of rebellion.
Ridiculous.
So at the Oasis Bar, there's a bartender there named Carrie Sad, a woman named Carrie Sad. She's the bartender. I mean, that's the life. She's a bartender on New Year's Eve. Good tips, but you're in Cooperstown, so I don't know what the tips are like. It seems like a depressing New Year's Eve.
At the Coachman around the corner?
This is at the
Oasis.
Oasis.
Yeah.
This is a little lower class, I feel like, than the Coachman.
But it's like I think
this
the
is
Coachman's
their version
like
of a pub run here. We're going to the Coachman, then the Oasis, then the Fishbowl, then we're going to pass out in an alley. All right. We don't have any alleys. Fuck it. We're going to pass out in a snowbank when we're done.
Just pass out right in the fucking middle of the street.
And it's cold up here too. This is New Year's Eve. It's cold. There's snowbanks and drifts, and I mean this is not messing around. No. This is real winter shit up here. This is like the goddamn North Pole, North Dakota. It's awful. So Carrie Sad, the bartender at the Oasis, said Johnson comes in the back door. That's another small town trope. Is just like,
popping in the back door.
Pop in the back door. Like, oh, it's Kurt. Yeah. How's
you do that in a big city and they'll fucking have you arrested.
What the fuck
Where are you coming from?
Hey, the emergency exit alarm will go off. You're like, what dude? You're a total ass. Sprinkler systems are going off.
What, you think you fucking work here?
He pops in and they're just like, Kurt. They do like a Norm. They're like, how's the highway, Kurt? And he has like a quick comeback, you know. Harder than my dick, give me a drink, something stupid like that.
One hole at a time or whatever the fuck they say.
Yeah, some shit like that. So he pops in about 9 p.m. The bartender, Carrie Sad, said that he does not appear intoxicated when he comes in the door. It seems fine. And she's seen him before and stuff, so she probably would know if he's intoxicated.
Yeah, she could gauge.
She can gauge. And she said, seemed fine, came in the door, wasn't intoxicated, pulls up a stool at the bar, hanging out, small town, everybody's talking to each other. It's New Year's Eve. I'm sure it's very social. He started talking to a guy next to him, a guy named Daniel Evan Wacht. Okay, talks to him.
What's that last name?
Wacht, W-A-C-H-T.
Jeez.
Yeah, Wacht.
That's awful.
And I've heard it watched, and I've heard it walked, and I'm going to go with Wacht, and I'm going to call him Daniel.
Okay,
we'll do that.
Sit next to Daniel, and they're having some drinks talking.
That last name hurts my head. It's terrible.
Fucked up name.
So Daniel, we'll talk about him for a second. He is the opposite.
He's hammered.
Of Kurt.
Yeah.
No, not in terms of hammered, in terms of a human being.
Okay.
He is not a resident of Cooperstown. He didn't grow up there. He's not a kid from the farm over here. He moved to Cooperstown about 4 months earlier.
Okay.
From California. Yeah. He is known around town, and he's made a reputation for himself in the 4 months he's lived there as his nickname is Machine Gun Head.
He got himself a nickname.
Well, it's easy.
Machine Gun Head.
Machine Gun Head because he has a tattoo of a machine gun by his ear.
Okay, so they weren't clever.
They're not. That's what I was going to say. Another reason why you need to have some Italians in your town is you need. Every time,
White people.
every
Good
time we
Christ.
go to these little towns where you know there's no goddamn Italians, like they say in The Sopranos, it's Elvis country where there's no Jews or Italians. Every time you're in Elvis country here, this happens. Like if there's a nickname, it's fucking terrible. It's Old Bill, the Mountaineer.
What if Machine Gun Head had long hair at the time and you couldn't even see the
That's
tattoo?
the thing.
What
It's
the fuck?
not clever at all. You really need to get into their character
Right.
and who they are, or if they're like a fat slob or something like
You
that.
call him fat slob.
You call him, he's gonna be Tommy the Bone because he's so skinny. You know what I mean? He's a fat fuck. It's gonna be something like that.
Right.
So Machine Gun Head here, Idiot Daniel. This guy from 97 to 99, he'd served in the Marine Corps for 2 years, but he got out. The way he put it was, quote, I didn't like the bureaucracy, couldn't take it anymore.
Sounds like somebody couldn't stand being told what to do.
That seems right. It's the Marines. It's difficult. There's going to be you can't get anything more bureaucratic than the fucking military.
Right.
Someone has to give an order to someone else, to someone else, to someone else, and a paper trail that goes the whole thing. It's the most bureaucratic thing there is.
It's done that way on purpose.
Yeah, you have to kind of enjoy that. That sort of
the structure.
Yeah, the command, the rank of that sort of thing. You have to enjoy that here.
And if you don't, then you're just doing it just for the accolade of saying I was in the Marines.
That's the thing, and I feel
don't do that.
No, that's I feel like maybe he was like, I'll go in the Marines. That's tough. But he's also, I think he's just kind of out there, and I don't think he likes to be told what to do. I think he likes to be on the outskirts of society. Judging by the fact that he has swastika tattoos.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
SS tattoos all over him.
How did he not get kicked out for that shit?
Swastika tattoos. I don't know if that was he probably got him afterwards.
Pre or post, right?
But I mean, swastika, SS tattoos, and a machine gun behind his ear. So he's making a statement. I feel with his body art.
He doesn't want to have to say a word. He wants you to know right away that he's a piece of shit.
Yeah, exactly. So we know where he was from 97 to 99, disliking the bureaucracy of the Marine Corps
and black people,
the Marine Corps, and I'm sure
Jews,
black people and
everything
Jews,
else.
Basically anything. I feel like
anything that's not a white person with a machine gun.
I don't feel like he likes a lot of white people either.
No,
I feel like he just hates everybody. This guy. I feel like it's not a matter of anything.
No.
He'll just hate a black guy 10% more. But he hates the white guy standing next to him too, and would kill him either way. Let's go over his criminal record from 2001 up to this point. Let's just go over his list of things that he was arrested for. Okay, shall we? You want to go down a list here?
This should be interesting.
This is good here. Let's see. Only a couple. Don't worry. Don't buckle up or anything. But grand theft auto. Burglary, force with a dangerous weapon, use of a firearm or animal during a theft, or animal.
You can use an animal during a theft and get charged for that?
Fuck, have your dog bark. Give me your wallet. Okay. This is the weirdest robbery ever.
It's bizarre.
Taking a vehicle
Give me your shit. Why do you have that? Why do you have a rat in your hand right now?
What are you doing?
It has rabies.
Yeah, it's German Shepherd. Let's be honest here. You know it is. Taking a vehicle without owner's consent, possession and transport of a controlled substance, parole and probation violations, felon in possession of a firearm, willful discharge of a firearm with gross negligence in manufacture or possession of a dangerous weapon.
Wow.
That's a lot of shit.
Yeah.
So this is not an upstanding citizen.
No.
I don't think he has any research grants at the local universities, probably. I doubt. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe he knows anything about. What are they discussing? This is what I'm talking about. These two are hanging out. What the fuck could these two have in common to talk about?
Fuck is that on your head? Oh, it's a machine gun. What about that on your shoulder? Oh, that's a swastika. And give me all your money. I have a cobra.
I have a cobra. Yeah, that's true. On top of that.
By the way, that means somebody had to do that for that to be a law. That's crazy.
And then Kurt looked at him and said, did I ever tell you why the highways wave? And that's not a conversation is what I'm getting at. These two are going to come to an impasse when they're talking. Thing. So it's super weird. 2008, he was convicted of a crime. It's the statute that bars anyone convicted of a felony or who is addicted to the use of narcotics from owning or buying a firearm. Apparently, he had both of them in there.
Addicts can't buy, huh?
No, he was convicted of. I never heard of that before.
I haven't either.
That was a law. It might have been where he was, though, too. That's a state law. It seems like. Yeah, we can't pass national gun laws at all.
That would be
that's a state law. It has to be because this is from California.
Yeah.
So maybe that's a possibility. He's convicted of discharging a firearm in a grossly negligent manner, possessing controlled substances with intent to sell in 2007.
Yeah.
So he's going to sell some, probably meth. I would imagine
It's definitely meth.
He had an outstanding warrant at this moment while he's standing talking to Kurt Johnson in California for a probation violation.
He's got a warrant right now.
He's got a warrant now in California. He's believed to be pretty violent.
Yeah.
You know, people like in his court.
He's got a machine gun tattooed on his
and a lot
fucking
of
head.
swastikas. And that's aggressive. It's aggressive. We'll put it that way.
Making a fucking statement at minimum.
That's not the guy where if you had your kids, you'd go try to sell him Girl Scout cookies. You'd go, no, dear, honey, come this way.
Not that one.
He doesn't want any Thin Mints.
He doesn't enjoy anything.
He doesn't
Samoas
like
do not
no,
make him happy.
Not at all. No, not even the shortbread ones. And you have to be
the only way that man is happy with a Samoa is when he's gutting one. You know what I mean?
That's
like a
true,
Samoan. He would love to see
Samoan.
an actual Samoan
because
be
they're
gutted.
big. He can climb right inside one. He likes that, like Luke Skywalker. He can just climb on in for warmth. November 6th, the North Dakota courts show that he has a misdemeanor conviction that day in Cooper. So he's new to town, and he has just reminded me of John Mulaney.
I heard it too.
Yes, I could. So he's new in town.
I have AIDS. No, that's too strong.
That's too strong. So, Jesus. So. He ends up with a misdemeanor conviction for driving without insurance.
Okay, and that's his welcome party.
That's his welcome.
Gotcha.
Welcome to town, everybody. Come on in.
You dipshit.
Kurt Johnson's been here forever. He never gets arrested. Right. This guy just pulled into town.
Crosses state line, and they give him a ticket.
Now, December 18th, 2010. We were at New Year's Eve. This is 12 days before, 13 days before. He's at a house party. Daniel is, not Kurt. Kurt, I don't think Kurt's going to house parties. If they are, there's wine involved.
The only house party he's ever seen was like Kid and Play or something, and he didn't even like it.
There's wine involved at his house parties, and then people discuss pavement and things like that. This is
somebody getting out of control at his house party is peeing 6 times.
Yeah, I feel like here there's shared bottles. You know what I mean? And not even of like liquor, not even like scotch or something, not whiskey. This is like shared, like Mad Dog 2020 or some shit, some Boone's Farm. We're all passing it around. So we're
all getting HPV throat cancer.
Let's do it. Come on, Kurt, give us your cancer. So Daniel is at a house party. There's a guy named Jason Bolstead there. He's with his younger brother and his brother's friends when Daniel and a friend of Daniel showed up, who must be a winner also.
Right.
Jason Bolstead said he noticed a machine gun tattoo by Daniel's right ear.
Because he looked at him.
He looked at him, and you can look at someone and you go, okay, that's a guy I don't want to hang out with. And he said he didn't want his little brother around him, basically. He didn't want his little brother hanging around this guy because he looked like trouble. And you know what?
He loves his brother.
That's the thing. And he gets more reason why he was correct in his assumption because he begins talking to Daniel. Daniel starts telling him that he's in the Aryan Brotherhood. He said his friend came up and they were talking a lot of throwing a lot of white supremacist jargon around, something about 14 words and all that shit. Though, so it's
I know what that is.
They're
That's
sitting
so
there.
embarrassing.
I feel like they go. I feel like they go to this party and they're like, let's show these fucking hillbillies that we're tough and make everybody afraid of us. I feel like, and I feel like they're probably like everyone there is probably a little younger than him.
Sure,
it's probably one of those things where he's like, I can buy beer, so that makes me, something.
And I know 14 words.
That's all I know. That's it. Though.
It's the longest sentence I've ever said, and it all makes sense. So I'm proud of it.
Yeah. So for some reason, this Jason Bolstad decides to go with Daniel to his house, which I wouldn't go with this guy. They go for drinks. They get there, and he says that this Jason said that Daniel and his friend pulled out guns and set them on the table right away. Later, also, he said that that Jason said that him and Daniel went out to a cemetery on the north end of Cooperstown and fired a gun at a tree.
At the cemetery.
At the cemetery. That was their night.
Everybody's already dead. So
that was their night. Want to come back to my house and drink? All right. And they're sitting there drinking. Want to go to the cemetery, shoot a tree?
Shoot some guns.
All right. That's their fucking night.
What the fuck?
Shit, this is why I said mundane at the top of the show.
Yeah.
When the activity for the night is want to go shoot a tree at night when we're drinking and that's partying.
Jesus.
They don't even have cable here, I feel like. I don't know. Get a dish or something.
The nuke site is closed. Let's go shoot a tree.
Hey, want to go to Ronald Reagan Missile Site 5? Oh, shit. What time is it? God damn it. I really want to do that topside tour. Fuck it. You know what? Let's go shoot a tree.
Jesus.
Jesus Christ, man. So Jason said that Daniel asked him if he wanted to join the Aryan Brotherhood.
Oh, what?
Yes. Hey, you want to join the Aryan Brotherhood?
Sweet.
We got an opening.
I don't want that question ever posed to me ever.
Listen, we have an opening right now, and we're looking for a young man about your cut, and we think that you'd be a good fit. So maybe you want to come on, join the team.
A slogan.
This is a team atmosphere. So if you want to go your own way, this isn't the place for you.
We want to give you suspenders and red bootlaces, and we want you to say 14 words in a specific order every day.
I want you to be super fucking boring because that's all you talk about. Yeah, that's the other thing.
That's true. Why?
How boring are you? Just that's all you talk about.
Right.
Like, yeah, we get it.
At least Black Panthers want to talk about something else.
No, it's like, yeah, we get it. Choose. Okay, great. What? Yes, the Black. Yeah, I know. I fucking know. All right. Jesus Christ.
Unbelievable.
Even these guys' wives, after a while, have got to be like, you know what? Fuck no. I mean, seriously. Can we talk about anything? Don't you like theater? Is there anything?
I just saw their quote-unquote, because that's what they call them, it's old ladies, my old lady or my bird or whatever the fuck. And I just saw one just throwing up her hands in frustration going, what the fuck?
Enough.
My dad was right.
Yeah, I get it. Obama was yes, I know. I know. I get it, okay? You told me about that. Yes, Jew banking system, 7 Jew bankers. I understand
I get it.
The fucking plot, okay? Thank you. Yes.
Can
Hitler.
you stop writing 88 on everything
Please,
I own?
Jesus
Can you knock
Christ.
that shit off?
We're not naming our son Himmler. No. I'm not doing it. No, his first name will not be Himmler. I'm not going to name him that. I'm sorry. No. So this... little baby Himmler. So,
of all things to celebrate, you know what I mean? That's
Jesus
so crazy
Christ,
to me.
man.
It's just,
it's
and they
weird.
lost. Like,
That's the other thing.
Why are you so fucking happy about it?
That goes for the Confederacy too. The Confederacy and the Nazis.
Stop it with
the
them
Japanese
both.
know how to take a loss.
Yeah, they do.
They take a loss.
They do.
They're like a football team. They take a loss. They go shake hands with the other side, and they go, they played a better game
luck
today.
next year.
They played a better game today. And you know what? They're the champions, and we're gonna go. You know, well, good luck. We're happy for them and everybody on their team. They don't go like, nope, we didn't lose. Nope, we'll just keep going. Nope, it's carrying on
Can you
forever.
imagine the Buffalo Bills did that 4 years in a row?
It's so fucking weird, man.
Nope, we'll be there getting the rings.
Yeah, it's a strange thing. But so Daniel not only asks him, he says,
Buffalo Bills fans are the most humble people. They rarely. They don't
want to
talk about it.
They know their place is a dump.
Yeah.
They're like,
they don't even want to talk about those 4 Super Bowls.
We're happy that they gave us a football team. There's nothing here. We have a hockey team. You ever hear of the Buffalo Sabres? No, exactly. Neither is anybody else.
They just tip their cap to Jim Kelly and Thurman Thomas and walk the fuck on by.
That's the only time they're going to get like a celebrity in their town is if they play for the team. So they're very happy to have them there. They don't care if they're good or not. So now that we've offended everybody,
the Buffalo Bills are the Nazis of the NFL. I feel like such shit.
That's true. Sorry, Bills fans. Sorry, Bills fans. You're Nazi sympathizers. We apologize. You Jew-hating bastards.
You guys lost.
So
anyway.
Daniel asks Bolstad, not only do you want to join the Brotherhood, tell you what, I'm going to get you on the horn here. He's like a telemarketer.
Oh,
like he cornered the guy, and he's like, let me put you on with my sales manager. We'll get this wrapped right up. He did, man. He gets him on the phone with a guy that Daniel said his name is Nico, and Bolstad said that he was, quote, some kind of leader of an Aryan gang in California or something, is what Daniel told him. He says, Daniel tells Bolstad, I'm here now, and I'm going to start up a chapter in the area.
Yeah.
Obviously, me and the 12 old guys, we're all going to hang out at the Bible camp. I don't know, but we're going to start a white. It's all white people, so I guess your whole pool is open for.
Your town essentially won.
So,
it's doing what you want it to do.
Yeah, so that's why he moved here.
Right.
He looked at 98.8.
That
Jesus.
is fucking white.
So, but there's a couple black people to hate, though. You don't want it to be totally white. There's got to be someone to hate, or else it's not any fun.
We got to go pick on those guys.
That's it. That's what I think he's thinking. So, he says he's here. He's going to start a white supremacist movement in the area. And then he tells Bolstad, quote, Bolstad said, quote, he told me that he was either going to blow something up or kill someone to prove that they were here.
Holy shit.
Bolstad told him that he wouldn't get away with it and the cops would be all over him, because there's 1,000 people here, and they noticed the one guy who comes into town with a machine gun on his ear, and then shit starts blowing up and people start dying. May
have a suspect right out of the gate.
May have a suspect here. By the way, there hasn't been a murder in this town right now at 2010 in 80 years.
Wow.
80 years. So they would notice a murder.
Right.
It's not like they'd be like, oh, it's not like on The Wire.
Right.
They find like a drug dealer in the alley and they're like, I don't know, it's some yo in an alley. I don't know.
That's what they call in an alley.
That's what they would call the drug dealers in the 80s, where some dead yo in an alley. It was like, fuck it. It's not even that's not a citizen. That's what they, I feel like that's not how they would react to it here. So he said, Bolstad said that Daniel said, quote, he said that they were all idiots and that they were corn-fed people up here.
Holy shit.
So he's like, they won't know me. I'm slick.
Meanwhile, it's too cold for fucking corn up there, right?
I think
Is
I
there
don't know.
corn?
I have no idea what the hell grows up there. Jesus Christ. I would think nothing.
He's just using some dipshit slang term for yokels.
Probably.
Right.
Yeah, they're corn-fed, whatever. So back at the bar here on New Year's Eve, now that we get a background on the guy that Kurt Johnson's talking to, and exactly what an odd conversation, what an odd pairing these two are. Kerry Sad, the bartender, describes Daniel as, quote, he had a shaved head, he had high combat boots, long trench coats, he had a tattoo. I think it was an M16 on the side of his head. She
knew the make of it.
She knew the make of it. Yeah,
everybody else is calling her a machine gun
she's
head.
shooting big bucks.
Yeah,
so
she's calling him by his technical term.
I think it was an M16. Yeah. So
she's calling him M16.
No one they didn't know that these two had ever met. Nobody knew or anything like that. Right. They didn't seem to know each other, but they were talking. They talked for a couple hours while they were there, and then Kerry Sad said they went in the bathroom together and came out. When they came out, Johnson was completely different. They said she said he seemed somewhat sober before, but came back from the bathroom extremely intoxicated, falling off his stool.
Wow. What, they do coke together?
I'm going to say K probably.
Oh, okay.
That sounds like K to me. Like it sounds like because you're it feels like you're in a boat and you're dizzy and shit. So
also,
sounds like
anything that has a K in it, this guy seems like he would be in possession.
I mean, it
of.
Could be anything. They could have done heroin or something like that. But I feel like I don't know. I feel like this sounds like fucking ketamine to me and whatever. But anyway, I can't. That's just a whatever. Who knows? But I feel like they must have done something.
They
in the bathroom.
did something together in the bathroom that was less. That was more than just shots.
Yes, he said She said that Kerry Sad said that Johnson seemed to go from not very drunk to very drunk. Okay. She said it was almost like Kurt went from 0 to 60 in 45 minutes.
Wow,
which is strange because she knows him and that's not like him.
Yeah.
Also, too, later on we'll find out he has a blood alcohol content of 0.54, which isn't even legally.
Shit, that's dead.
That's exactly.
That's so much. 0.4 is dead.
Now, Kerry Sad, she's sitting there bartending, and she said Daniel was super weird with him, too. With her, with everybody. First of all, she said she heard Daniel tell Johnson at one point, quote, if you don't like me, you can just shoot me in the head then.
What?
Which is an odd thing to say to a guy you just met.
Yeah.
He also said weird shit to her. She said, quote, he asked me if I was Christian, and before I could even say anything, he told me that he was the devil and was serving the devil. Yeah. So, how you doing? I'm the devil. I'm new in town. That's like I have HIV. That's the John Mulaney. I have swastika tattoos. Right. I'm the devil, and I'm new in town. Like that's
I'm doing devil's work. Isn't that what fucking Richard Ramirez said when he got arrested?
I think so. Yeah. She said she was freaked out by the whole thing, and she asked her husband, to come behind the bar with her after that.
That's how scared she was by this conversation.
I don't like this fucking guy. Apparently, Johnson was so out of it at that point, started causing a disturbance at the bar.
Wow.
Like to the point where he fell over backward off his bar stool.
Wow.
Kerry Sad said she was going to. She suggested to call the police to help get him home.
Yeah.
Which is funny in a small town that you call the. Hey, Kurt's drunk. Can you take him home? Oh, come on, Kurt. Let's go out here. And they take him in the cop car on New Year's Eve.
Right.
Here they're like, we have 14 fucking shootings. There's people. It's a mess out here.
Right.
God damn it. DUIs everywhere. Daniel apparently said no. He's fine. He kind of picks him up off the ground. He says, quote, we don't need any fucking cops. We'll take care of this. Is what Daniel says. Then Daniel went picked him up like a rag doll. She said She said it was the oddest thing. He just yanked him, picked him up. Apparently, he was pretty strong. So at that point, Daniel says, well, I'll just give him a ride home. Shit, I don't care. I'll give him a ride home.
And as a bartender, when somebody just said, I'm the devil and I'm here to do the devil's work, I feel and now you're a sweetheart that's going to take somebody home?
That's what I mean. Like,
I'd be terrified.
This dude is, and nobody knows this guy. He's new in town, so nobody really knows him. I know, it's funny every time. I say it on purpose every time. So
I know.
There's a guy named Tim Vincent in the bar also. He's just another guy who's hanging out. He helped Johnson to Daniel as a van outside because, he's a weirdo and he's got to have a van.
Of course.
So he's got a van out there, and Tim Vincent helps Daniel get Johnson out to the van because he's like falling over. He can't even stand up. Tim Vincent said that he couldn't get Johnson over a tall snowbank that had built up. And he said that Daniel grabbed Johnson by the neck and waist and, quote, threw him into the side door of the van.
Holy shit.
Picked him up and tossed him in the van like he's tossing a drunk out of a back door. Yeah, like a back door. It's crazy. It's super weird, man. Like that's an odd thing to see.
And then
he's
you're
like,
just going to
see you
wander back
later.
in?
And he's like, all right, go Happy New Year.
Already 2 fucking events that I'm just like, no, this is not good.
Back in with his little party hat on. His fucking... It's ridiculous. So sometimes
he's still got he's got like the 2010 where like the 2 zeros make the sunglasses. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's wearing them shits while that guy's throwing people around.
Absolutely. So at this point, about 3 a.m., he's outside of town and ends up in a snowbank in his van. And so he called the police and asked for a ride home, from the van. And they picked him up. They're like the Uber of this town. They need something.
That's their job. That's how's your driving? How late do you stay up? Because the town needs fucking rides home.
We need rides.
When do we solve
turn
crimes?
into a taxi service about 9
About
9 p.m. We turn into a taxi service. So look out for that.
People dial 911 and we go
shit-faced.
I
need a ride home.
911
like, that's him
emergency.
again.
Where are you
Fuck.
going?
Where are you headed? 911 emergency. How drunk are you and where are you headed? One of the cops said, quote, it appeared Mr. Walk did not want us near his van. So they didn't want him near the van at all.
And the cops were just like, let's get you home.
Whatever. It's cold. It's the middle of the night. Who gives a shit? So a couple days goes by. Nobody hears from Kurt Johnson. By January 4th, his cousin, Murray Stocka, reports him missing to Sheriff Robert Hook of Griggs County.
Got it.
So now he's missing. They never see him again. They search his house thoroughly for him. They even look in the cupboards and closets and crawl spaces. They don't find him. The sheriff's department.
That's a thorough check.
Oh, everywhere.
They're
family
opening
was like
cupboards to look for the guy.
Maybe they made a point to say we even looked in the cupboards. We can't find this fucking guy. He is gone, man. He's really good at hide and seek.
That's
this guy.
unbelievable.
Amazing at hide and seek.
Yeah.
He also searched. The cops came. They searched his house. The sheriff.
But if they'd have gotten this family to go look for Osama bin Laden, they would have found him. They're looking in fucking cupboards.
I know where he is. Don't worry about it. I know what this asshole does. Okay, he's been doing it since he was a kid.
Ridiculous.
So also, they talked to the person who does the snow removal. Everybody's got a snow removal guy there at Johnson's house, and this guy said that there was no new footprints in the snow when he came to shovel on New Year's Day.
Okay.
So he did not, and it didn't snow that night. So he said, he didn't see new footprints going to the house. Like Kurt didn't come home and go to the house through the snow anyway. So the police do some investigating. They ask around town. They put together obviously the timeline of what the fuck happened to this guy. And they figure out that the last time he was seen was with Daniel
at the bar.
So they're like, okay, they want to talk to him, obviously. That's a thing. Now he's employed. Daniel's a welder. He works at the Cheyenne Tooling in Cooperstown. He's got a supervisor named Tim James who said that Daniel did not report to work. Had not been there since December 23rd because his mother died in California, or at least that's what he told. He told his supervisor.
And that's fine anyway, because all he was doing was welding together swastikas every fucking day.
Constantly. They're like, Jesus Christ. How did you weld a bust of Hitler? I don't know how that's even possible, but that's amazing. You're talented. That's the thing that's fucked up about this. I'm impressed by what you do.
I can't believe you make so many iron crosses and iron eagles.
You're using it for evil.
Right.
It's not great here. They're looking at informants around town. They have informants in this tiny town. How much meth did they get busted with, or this is their lot in life now? They were looking and they talked to an informant, and he says that he was told that Daniel was shopping in Fargo. It's
the informant that knows that kind of shit.
Yeah, it's amazing that they're like, this is a good. He's almost as good as an informant as Bubbles. I mean, he's not like Bubbles. He's not going to go down and tell you the inner workings of the whole organization. Go down there with different hats and say, "I'll put a red one on the guys that matter, and you guys take pictures of it while I'm up there." He's not going to do that. He's not going to come up with a whole plan. That's a different thing. But he knows that he's shopping in Fargo.
This is incredible. He knows intimate shit.
So the sheriff here, Sheriff Hook, gets a search warrant to search Daniel's van because they said that they were suspicious of the van since the 3 a.m. thing here. So January 5th at 12:25 a.m. So they woke a fucking judge up for that.
No doubt.
The phone rang. The judge is like, "Who needs a ride?" And they were like, No. It's the police. We need a warrant, actually. So January 5th, they show up. Now, they had kind of watched him a little bit. They watched him. They saw him go from his house to work in the morning on January 5th. So they see him go here. They end up confronting him at about 6 o'clock at Cheyenne Tooling.
Right.
Because the warrant, he's thought of in the warrant as dangerous.
Yeah.
Or possibly dangerous, possibly armed. They don't know. He's got all these, weapons,
at least
possessions,
one
and
behind
everything.
his ear.
So, yeah, they're thinking, so the warrant's good for anywhere, obviously. There was a caution in the California warrant because they found it at that point that listed him as armed and dangerous. The funny thing is when he got pulled over for the ticket for not having insurance when he first got to town, the California warrant didn't come up.
Gotcha.
So that is so weird that they didn't arrest him. They should have arrested him right there.
Maybe the warrant's just a state warrant. It's
no.
something that
They have it here now.
Okay.
But just for some reason, I don't know if the cop didn't run him through just
Or
didn't give a
didn't
shit. And he
look.
was just like, here you
Right.
go, asshole.
Right.
Like, I don't know. He's lazy, small town cop. I have
It was
no
after
idea.
9. It was just the taxi
He
service.
was like, I got people. I got that car loaded with people right now. There's people in the trunk,
That's
goddammit.
hysterical. I just saw that right now when you said that. Seeing like just all these drunks in a cop car.
Woo! Waving out the. It's like a party van.
Turn the lights on.
Come on, where are we at? He's yelling back. Will you turn the goddamn sirens off? Turn them off. Keep him away from the fucking. I gotta go now. Here's your goddamn ticket. He didn't even run him through the computer. So they look. The agents. Well, they look at. He's got a maroon GMC Safari van.
Yeah.
He gets out of the van and they order him to the ground.
It's
obviously,
one of those vans.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, Jesus.
They order him to the ground. They find a 9mm Glock pistol with 10 bullets in there in his back pocket.
Yeah.
So he's armed right there, which is, that he's not allowed to have weapons, first of all. So they talk to him. They read him his Miranda rights. They make sure to say that. He says, quote, I don't even know what I'm doing here. Obviously, we're not talking about my parole violation. So he's like, obviously, this is a bigger deal because 8 people just converged on my van and this is a sting.
Right.
So clearly, you guys aren't just like, hey, he's on probation violation.
Right. I didn't call for a ride.
Yeah, they said, well, why do you have a gun? He says, I know I'm not supposed to have a gun, but he's trying to clear his California warrant and he tells the cops this, that he's applying for, quote, sovereign citizenship. What the? No.
Those people are assholes, by the way.
No. You are not no. No.
I hate those people.
No.
I hate those videos when they get pulled over.
No.
I'm only rolling my window down this much, officer. I can hear you. I'm a sovereign.
No. That they're not. They're saying I know my rights.
Right.
He's saying I'm not a part of this.
Right.
I'm my own fucking country, which is insanity.
Asshole.
And he says that he wanted to be a sovereign citizen so he could, quote, squash all this little petty nonsense.
What does that mean?
Like having a gun when you're on parole in another state, which you weren't even supposed to leave your first state to begin with.
You have to get that stuff taken care of, by the way, if you want to be a sovereign, whatever the fuck.
Well,
if you want, you have to do that before you get the gun. You don't get to have the gun and then just say, no,
go,
you guys, I'll wash it
I'm working
clean.
on this shit. I know I have a warrant, but hey, it's cool. How dumb did he think these cops were?
What a dipshit.
He says that he's a natural-born citizen who has still had his constitutional rights and shouldn't be subjected to statuses passed by, quote, self-serving people.
He said that out loud.
That's called a government and a country. Laws are passed by people, and you follow them, or else you end up in jail and you got covered in swastika tattoos.
That's a much smarter thought than anybody that has an M16 tattooed on their head should be saying.
100%. He tells them about the Marine Corps, and like the bureaucracy. They're like, yeah, he sounds like a winner, this guy. It's getting better and better here. Police tow his van to a body shop to seal it for the evidence. Obviously, they want to check that. When they do search the van, they find an envelope containing 5 spent rifle shells. Okay. Who's saving their spent shells in an envelope, and more ammunition for a rifle. So obviously more firearms. They find those. So now they apply for a search warrant for his home for firearms and weapons. They're building it up and ammunition. Yeah. They say they found ammunition for a rifle in his car, blah, blah, blah. Like he says, I can possess
I'm
this.
Sovereign.
I'm sovereign, damn it. Also, an informant told the police about an incident which Daniel had shot through his coffee table inside of his own house. So they're like, okay, that's how they got the search warrant for the house was also too, he came from his house. They know to his job, so he had a gun in his house at some point. So they assume there might be more guns there. They interview him on January 5th. This is awesome here.
You're goddamn right it is.
He said he's been drinking with Johnson.
Sweet Pete.
He said, I seem like a good dude, which is weird. He said he offered the guy a ride home when the bartender threatened to call the cops. He relays that. All that is, that can't be disputed. That's all backed up by other people, corroborated.
Right.
He said once they were in the van, though, Johnson was just belligerent.
Oh, he just went crazy.
He wouldn't even tell him where he lived. He said,
Really?
I wouldn't tell me. Now, the town is 0.97 miles. Be
It's a guy that can't talk.
Listen here, asshole. I'm going to drop you off in the middle, and you're going to be pretty close to wherever
You
it is.
threw him by the nape of his
Yes,
neck
in
and
here.
his belt loops into the car, and you expect
shit-faced.
that guy to be able to talk to you?
He wouldn't tell him where he lived in the town. Now, he could have just asked someone, hey, where's Kurt live? And they would have probably known. But
Right.
instead, he just says, so Daniel
driving.
said, what was I supposed to do? He said, I went to my own house.
Yeah.
He said, I left him in the van.
Yeah.
He was passed out in the van by the time we got to my house, so I just went inside. He said, I mixed a vodka screwdriver.
Yeah.
So he's in there going to have mixed drinks now. He's in there. I picture him a little stirring it. Yes, that's very nice. Then he said, he left him passed out there. He said he came back later, and Johnson was in the van again. He had a drink and went and checked on him, and he said he was conscious now, but he said he was still being obnoxious. He said he was still being a complete dick. He was awake, but he was just an asshole. So Daniel said, I'm getting rid of this fucking guy. So he said he took him, he got back in the car, and he went and dropped him off at the Fishbowl bar across the street from the Oasis.
So he said, I took him right back to another bar.
I took him from my house. I said, you can't go in the Oasis, but go in the Fishbowl and fucking hang out in there and see if someone will take care of you in there, because I'm not doing that. Daniel said, quote, I'm a nice guy. I thought I was going to do him a favor. He's just a nice guy, Jimmy. I mean, obviously. They asked him if things went bad with him, and he said no. He said, why would I want to kidnap some old guy? It just doesn't make sense. That's his thing. Well, who would want to do that?
That's bizarre.
Yeah, super bizarre. So he pointed out that the police said they talked to people at the Fishbowl, and they said no one in the bar said they saw Johnson that night.
Nobody saw him at all.
The only people that saw him were people that saw him in other bars.
Right.
No one saw him at the Fishbowl.
The last time anybody saw him was when your hand was around his neck, throwing him into a van.
The last he was seen is where he soared through a van door like a dead animal. That's the last time
They just
he was
saw
seen.
his asshole and elbows as you tossed him into a shit minivan.
And then drove away.
Right.
And he said, Daniel said about that, he said, I don't know what else. He said, who knows? He said, quote, what if someone else picked him up? He doesn't have any friends? What the hell do I know? He said, I don't know where the fuck he is. I'm not his babysitter.
Jesus.
That was his thing. What the hell do I know? I dropped him off at the bar. I'm doing the fucking guy a favor.
I
You're
don't
breaking
know
my balls now.
where the fuck he is.
You're breaking my fucking balls. I'm trying to do somebody a favor, be a nice guy. You coming over here breaking my balls.
Is that an actual quote? I don't know where the fuck he is.
I don't know where the fuck he is, and I'm not his babysitter. That's the quote. That's the actual quote. Yes. You think
I'm a
that
nice
came from
guy.
me?
I'm a nice guy.
I'll tell you when I'm
Yeah.
kidding. That was not kidding at all.
He said, I'm a nice guy.
I'm a
I don't
nice
know where
guy.
the fuck he is. I'm not a babysitter.
He said, I'm a nice guy. I was going to do him a favor. Why would I want to kidnap some old guy? It doesn't make sense. What if somebody else picked him up? He doesn't have any friends. I don't know where the fuck he is. I'm not his babysitter. Full range of emotions in a 2-minute thing.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So they asked him about. He said he dropped him off. He went home and then tried to drive to a friend's house north of Cooperstown because it's 3 a.m. and you want to,
He's been
what are you
drinking
doing?
screwdrivers in
What
his
the hell?
living room.
But the snow. There was some snow, and he misjudged a turn and got stuck in a ditch, and that's when the cops saw him that night. So he tried to connect that to that. So they search his home. They find on first search here, they find a canister containing gunpowder and marbles, and as well as a coil of a fuse.
He's building bombs
on an entertainment center of the home.
Yeah.
So they're looking at that and they're like, okay, this is a little odd here.
Yeah.
So they discover more stuff here. They discover a shell casing from something upstairs. They also find, and this is not great, they find a blood-stained couch cushion in a garbage bag in his laundry room.
Uh-oh.
And he's missing a couch cushion on his couch.
Okay.
So this isn't like I found this outside or somebody threw it in my yard out of their truck or something. This is like, so they look at that.
It's a smidge incriminating.
It is. So you find that. That's they go back
To get some questions.
Yeah, they go back and get another warrant for a detailed search. Now this isn't just for firearms and ammunition. Now we can tear the fucking walls down here if we have to, because now we're looking for evidence of Johnson.
Right.
So now you're getting samples. Before they couldn't just start swabbing shit. They didn't have a warrant for that stuff. So what they do is there's in the basement. This is a rented home, by the way. He's renting a home. Daniel is here.
Imagine being that landlord.
That's
Good
what I mean.
Christ.
They find in the basement, they find a mud smear on a wall.
Okay.
Just a little mud smear near a small hatch door that seals off a crawl space. Okay. And also they find in the basement, they find a pair of muddy boots and mud-stained coveralls down there. So they're like, weird.
Where did these come from? Right. How did this mud get all over this shit?
The sheriff said, quote, there's nowhere to get mud in here in the middle of winter.
Right.
He's saying it's
the
all
only way
snow.
to get it is downstairs.
Yeah. We're
in the crawl space.
There's 4 feet of snow on the ground, and it's frozen underneath.
Right.
So where the hell are you getting mud from? So they found, so with this mud, they said, let's check that crawl space.
That crawl space seems interesting.
That seems super suspicious there. And they find an area in the space with what they call recently disturbed earth, which is obvious signs where it's not just settled and flat.
Cat scratches or something.
Yep. So they use a probe and they get in there. What they find, 18 inches deep, is a head.
Good Christ.
Just the head.
Sweet Pete.
Not the rest of the body.
Just a head?
Just a fucking head.
Okay.
They find a head wrapped in multiple plastic bags with a shitload of fabric softener sheets in there.
Really?
I guess for smell.
Yeah.
Fabric softener sheets.
He's a pot smoker.
Yes. I wrote a film once where guys had a body in the trunk and they didn't know what to do, so they bought a bunch of little tree air fresheners. They bought like 100 of them and put them in the back. They were like, I don't know.
That should do it.
That should do it, yeah. All right, good enough. They walked away.
So he put some Downy in there or some
and
bounce.
Multiple plastic bags. Yeah, he had a bunch of bounce sheets in there. He said, my clothes are never going to be softer and fluffier. This guy's hair is going to be super fluffy.
It's going to be
amazing.
Poor man.
Right. So anyway, this poor guy's head, they found, well, they don't know who it is. Yeah, they just find a head in the basement. That's right away bad news.
Now we got a problem.
When you're finding just a head somewhere, there's an issue. A, this guy just took a head and buried it. And B, where the fuck's the rest of this guy is another issue that they have here. They also find a couple other interesting things. They find a bullet casing, several items with Johnson's DNA on them.
Yeah.
A bullet casing with a speck of his blood on it.
Uh-oh.
These are all and a head.
Yeah.
So when you add that up, it's a pretty strong case, I would say. He's charged.
Somebody's dead.
They charge him with murder, obviously, here. Now, the sheriff, who knew Johnson well, said he was barely able to make a positive identification. But they used DNA and dental records to confirm, though.
Okay.
They found fragments of a 9mm slug in his head.
I guess that's one good way to be identified when you're dead is just put a fucking M16 tattoo on the side of your face.
Everyone knows it's you.
That's the guy.
You're set, Right. Unfortunately for Kurt, he didn't have any of those, so they had to do that. This is awful, this poor guy. Yeah, he minded his own business, this poor bastard.
Drinking.
In the skull, they found there was one gunshot wound in the forehead of the head. They found a 9mm slug, fragments of it that they believed to be from the gun recovered from the Glock 9mm that Daniel had. So we're getting DNA, ballistics.
Now we've got a murder weapon.
Obvious common sense and a fucking head in your basement.
Right.
You're pretty shit out of luck at this point here. Yeah. So, first of all, I think his security deposit's voided at this point. I think we can at least say that much.
Sure.
The landlord's pissed.
Right.
You're
not selling that couch at a yard sale either.
No. They determined no, definitely not. They determined that it was a close range shot in the forehead from the 9mm that killed him. They found the 9mm casing with blood spots on it in Daniel's bedroom. Also, so it's not even down by the head there. When they did the DNA testing, they couldn't get to exactly Johnson, but they said it could only have come from his gene pool. His father, his grandfather, or him. The only people who could have done it. And since the rest of them were dead, they figured it was probably Kurt.
Pretty good guess.
Pretty good, sure. Pretty good guess on that. So now they have to find. They're looking for the body now. Yeah. Like, where the hell is this goddamn? We need a body. Where's the rest?
How horrible is that? I just can't ever get beyond that. The decapitation of a body is fucking nuts to me.
I don't know what kind of. I look at it two ways. One way, you look at like someone who's like in a rage with a saw, just like, or you look at someone just cold and calculating, like they just measured some wood to build a shed outside, and they just took their circular saw and calmly zipped it off. I don't know which is which.
I don't know which is worse. I don't know which is
worse.
The guy that's casually zipping it off is fucking.
That's worse.
That guy's scary.
That's worse.
That guy's dangerous.
The guy who goes crazy, I feel like we can medicate him at least, and he won't go crazy. The guy over here, you can't cure that. He doesn't mind. He's like, this head zips right off.
There's
no problem.
Been some sort of medical study that proved that a head, when it comes off, is conscious. Your eyes will see and absorb what it's seeing for 6 seconds.
Oh, like if you guillotine style.
That is so much
Clean
time.
Swipe. That's a lot of time.
6 seconds, like doing comedy, 10 minutes when you're new that's a year.
I remember that.
Being murdered in 6 seconds when your head comes off, that I can't imagine.
That's great.
That'd be a lifetime.
Luckily for Kurt, I guess, if you could say this, he was shot in the forehead first. So that's the oddest lucky thing I've ever heard. But
that's maybe the luckiest thing so far.
So they do more investigation here, and they figure out that Walk drove to Crosby on January 4th in his van. They thought he returned on U.S. U.S. Highway 10 from Crosby through Detroit Lakes, Minnesota. Okay. The area, and then back to Fargo, and then up to Cooperstown.
Okay.
So they're looking at...
That's a long, long trip.
Yes, and they're looking at anywhere along that route, there's probably a body.
A headless
is the way
body.
they're looking at it. Yeah, just a headless body. He says, it's so funny, too. Maybe he's like a professional killer, kind of like the Russian guy on The Wire when they said, is this body from you? And he said, does he have a head? Does he have hands? If so, then it's not us. So there you go. I think that's him. Does he have a head? Does he have hands? So anyway... he said that he had made a social visit to Crosby, and so they said they knew he was somewhat familiar with the area.
Yeah.
The police said while they're looking that the people should be on the lookout for black or dark metallic gray plastic trash bags that may be strewn about. Covered with snow or anything like that. Anywhere between Crosby, Minnesota, and Cooperstown.
Jesus.
And Crosby is 140 miles southeast of Fargo.
Sweet fuck.
So that's another hour and a half to Cooperstown. So anywhere in this vast expanse of nothingness in the middle of the winter, there could be a body out there.
Not just a body, a father of 3 adult children is out there somewhere. This is fucking horrific.
Yeah,
Sweet Pete.
It's crazy. The sheriff said, quote, "We're not looking for big fluffy garbage bags sitting on top of the snow.
Right.
The bags have been placed the first few days of the year and have been covered more with snow since, and possibly uncovered by animals." So they're like, who knows what you're looking for.
We may be waiting until fucking July to find this guy. This is horrific.
He says, quote, "We need to find this body, number one, for his family, to give them some closure. This is just a looming question for everybody. We need to put that to bed." So they're still looking for the body when they go to pretrial. Still haven't found the body, just ahead. Town is going batshit, as you might imagine. A local person, not even like a drifter, like a regular born and bred guy that everybody knows, and it's the first murder in 80 years, and it's the middle of nowhere. So this is the town, man. This is the talk of the town. Daniel moves to suppress the search of his van and home. Saying the warrants were not based on probable cause. They tried to say that the informant information that they got out of it, saying that he had a gun that he shot through his coffee table.
Yeah.
They said since that was in the affidavit, he said, well, he heard that secondhand. So the informant who said that heard that secondhand and didn't know it for a fact.
Yeah.
So that was not an okay probable cause to put on the affidavit for a search warrant.
Was it a fact?
Well, luckily there was a bunch of other shit too, so it didn't really matter. The fact that they knew he came from his house to his job with a gun on him made it moot anyway. That was just padding it. Maybe they shouldn't have put it in there, but whatever.
It's always fascinating to me the mindset of somebody that does something horrific. Like he wants to get the evidence of a head being in his fucking crawl space thrown out of a trial.
Get that thrown out.
You've got a fucking head, bro.
Oh, not to mention blood and DNA.
Yeah, but you guys didn't go the right way to find that head.
Head.
Who gives a shit?
No, there's a head, and he brings it up a lot. Let's see here.
And I want anybody to have a fair trial too, but for Christ's sake, you've got a head.
Once you have a head,
No
not only
fair
just
trial.
a head, it's not like somebody dropped the head off either. There's a whole bunch of other shit that goes with it. It's not like I've never met this guy. No one's ever seen us together. There's no DNA, but there was a head down there. Someone must have broken and buried it.
Happens to be his.
No, there is. This is deep.
This is too much.
You are neck deep in this shit without a head.
You motherfucker.
Yeah. So there's also a statement that that an informant said that Daniel told this informant that he dropped Johnson off at the fishbowl, and that he said, quote, "No one saw me do it," and Daniel's trying to say this is false. Now, the district court, what they did is they struck the statements from the affidavit and said there was still probable cause anyway, so tough shit.
Yeah.
They said, even without that, it's still enough. Sorry.
We're still good.
Yes. The state files notice to introduce pieces of evidence, as well as starting with his comments, Daniel's comments about him wanting to start a gang and blow something up or kill somebody to show everyone that he's here.
We've seen you. You have a tattoo on your fucking head.
This one's really good here. Phone records show that Daniel signed up for an account under the name Rudolph Hess.
For what?
A phone account.
Really?
The phone company. He signed up for the phone company under Rudolph Hess, who's a big Nazi.
Yeah.
That's a giant,
What is he doing?
He's picking Nazi party. I'm surprised it wasn't Himmler, like we said. So Yeah, so they do all that.
Is his TV under David Duke? What the fuck is he doing?
Jesus Christ. So they'd also talk about the unsuccessful search for the body. Yeah. They never got Johnson's cell phone either. They never found that, but they did. The phone company said that it was powered down at 12:01 a.m. on New Year's Day.
Okay.
So midnight, and he was like, I better turn his phone off. I don't know if his alarm went off or something. He was like, oh, shit. They also introduced statements that Daniel told another informant that he had an idea of shooting a police officer during a traffic stop.
Jesus.
There was there was records of he had repairs and maintenance done on his Glock and about a month before this all happened on his gun. So they were saying that he was obviously wanting to keep his handgun in working condition. So that shows that he didn't have a handgun thrown in a closet somewhere and whatever. Now there was some evidence of him holding a gun to someone's head at one point.
What?
And also his criminal record, which is all that's not allowed. They allow the discussion about shooting the police officer, but not the holding a gun to someone's head or his criminal record. Only if he testifies does his record come into play at that point. They do agree that the evidence of the warrant for which he was arrested was admissible stuff there for the California thing. Griggs County State's attorney Marina Spar, she had her opening statement, and she said that she basically laid out the. They found a head.
Right.
They last seen with this guy.
Right.
Head, DNA, blood. Right. Guys, have a good one. I was probably like 5 minutes, and then she just says, "I'm gonna go get a fucking sandwich. I'll be back. You guys know what to do here. Like, give me a goddamn break here." Now, Daniel's defense attorney, Stephen Mottinger, told the jurors that the evidence, including the severed head in the crawl space, isn't as clear cut as prosecutors would have them believe.
No, it was a jagged cut in that head. Is that what he's telling us?
Listen, guys, he said, quote, "Their evidence will show that there are other possibilities, unlimited possibilities." I propose. He didn't say that, but he did say there are other possibilities that someone else could have been involved.
How somebody lost a head. There's so many other possibilities. Yeah, I suppose there are.
Oh my God.
But how many of them are logical?
That's the thing.
Jesus.
At the trial, the jurors hear the 77-minute police interview, so they get to hear him talk and say, "What am I, his fucking babysitter?" All that shit. They hear that he's the last person seen with Johnson. There's DNA evidence that could only be Johnson. There's a 9mm casing that was fired from Walk's gun, and there's a 9mm bullet in this guy's head and there's blood on the casing of this guy who got shot. So the cushion found matches Daniel's sofa and Johnson's blood all over it. A boot, a pair of gloves, a sponge in a garbage bag in the laundry room, and a belt that they thought was Kurt Johnson's.
Jesus.
This is all evidence they have. And there's DNA all over boots and gloves and blood all over the sponge.
That poor defense attorney's got to look at all that shit and be like, you've got to look at that fuck with that tattoo and go, that tattoo is your best decision. How the fuck did you do this? How did you get to this point?
How is it you've come to arrive here to use a crime and sports thing? What the fuck is wrong with you?
And this is you've made my job so fucking hard, man. How are we supposed to try to get you any sort of fair trial? And and I said that in a past show that I don't like lawyers because because they're so slimy. And like this guy, I feel so fucking bad for this guy.
Well, that's the thing. You have to defend people.
Right.
It's not,
and it's not necessarily that you're defending people. You're just trying to get them a fair trial because you believe in the Constitution.
Or whatever. You're doing your goddamn job at some point. I mean, maybe that's why you started, but at some point it's like, it's my job to fucking defend these people.
And at some point, you've got to look at
something.
yourself and go, I went to law school, you fucking jerk. I've put my life...
Yeah.
I went through so much fucking hard work to try to get you a fair trial, and you're fucking me with all this evidence.
You're fucking me. What are you doing? A head, really?
Yeah,
I get the rest of it.
Head?
I can deal with a fucking bloody cushion. Okay, we can work on that. OJ we can work on blood stains. A head, I can't do.
Head.
I can't do. If they found Nicole's head in OJ's crawl space,
we got a problem.
He'd have been in prison for that. Sorry. Nothing would have got him off if they found a head. If they took a head out, plunked it on the counter, and said, "We found that in his house," they go, "All right, well, that's..."
You know how many student loans I have, you fucking
Jesus
asshole?
Christ. Yeah, you know how much money I owe? Good God here. So they did say, the medical examiner said that Johnson was already dead when when the head was amputated, thankfully. Good God here. Post-mortem decapitation. They said they didn't find what implement cut the head off.
Awful.
He said it had to be a nice, sharp instrument that went through the skin and muscle, but he said a knife would have a tough time cutting through bone.
Okay.
So maybe a saw, maybe something like that. Don't know. The Lamont Jacobson, who is a forensic supervisor at the state crime lab, he's the ballistics expert in this trial. He says it's his opinion that the bullet that killed Johnson was a Remington Golden Saber 9mm hollow point bullet, which matches an ammunition box found in Daniel's home.
Yeah.
So pretty clear what the fuck happened here. Yeah. He said that the bullet could have been fired from the Glock 9mm, but the Glock's rifling doesn't make a distinct impression. He couldn't be certain. But based on logic and the fact that all of that shit was in the same house, I would say, probably there.
Rifling, if you don't know, is the stripes that are made on a fucking bullet as it comes out of the barrel.
Yeah, it's the ballistics. It's what they compare ballistics.
Right.
Yeah, 3 whatever and a left twist or whatever. It'll be, you'll hear it on Law and Order all the time.
It's all very specific to each gun.
It's very specific, and also you see it like on Law and Order constantly, like, oh, it's just ballistics. Most of the time, bullets are fucked up and can't be compared. So that's most of the time. It's like it's splintered, like here. They flatten, they break, they hit
so much energy.
Hit a wall. It's a lot of energy. So they don't get that a lot. It hits bone and it nicks the bullets. And everything like that. So the defense challenged the validity of the ballistics test. They tried to make a big deal of how many rounds were test fired, saying you only test fired 3 rounds. And then the ballistics person said that Jacobson said that a researcher who studied more than 500 Glocks was able to match each gun to the cartridge and case as it's fired. Like, you know what you're doing if you're an expert in this, and you can do it.
Right. Somebody that's seen it enough. 3's all I need.
Their big piece of evidence, the defense, was that they found a shovel later on. Wedged under something that the police didn't find it, the family didn't find it at first. Kurt Johnson's family found it when they were, with the guy who rented Daniel's house to him found it when he was cleaning shit out. The landlord found it, and it was a shovel with mud and shit on it, but it didn't match the mud downstairs, or it didn't have any DNA on it at all. So they were like, there was a shovel there that didn't have any DNA on it. That means he's innocent, right? No, that means there's a fucking head in your basement, sir, mister. There's a head in your basement. They had Kerry Sad, the bartender, testify about Walk's behavior at the Oasis.
This is so silly. There's so much other shit in this house that you guys didn't touch.
Well, they're talking about that, and then they show the jurors a picture of a partially open plastic bag with Johnson's head visible inside. Right. And, Johnson's mother is in the courtroom. It's terrible, covering her hand. Because, they put this on the monitor so everyone can see. Horrible. Prosecutors talk about Daniel's affiliation with the Aryan Nation, so he says, and the fact that he said either way, whether he's in it or not, that he said he was going to kill people around there to try to start shit.
Right.
Jason Bolstat testifies about him saying how he was going to kill people or blow something up.
Right.
They show a picture of the tree they shot to the jury with bullet holes in it with the 9mm shots, and they pulled the bullets out of there.
This is this is what I hate about white people. I don't know how I'm supposed to preface that statement that I'm about to say. It's just what I get why people are so mad at 30-something-year-old white men when you got assholes like this. Like, there's this guy. What a dickhole. That's the
problem.
What a
but then there's you or me, but that's
and then we got to go. I'm not that guy. I'm not him.
No, well, I would hope that most people would imagine that this is
such a unique situation.
This is a very unique situation.
But why do white supremacists, like the guys that just think they're better than everybody else, why do they have to make a statement? Like why do you?
Because that's why they're doing it. Because it's an antisocial. It's an antisocial state. It has nothing to do with what their thing is. It's just the fact that they have to have a thing.
They got to show everybody.
If they were good at football, they would have done that, and they wouldn't have cared about this.
It's just I'm better than everybody, so I need everybody to know. Is that really, man? We see that you've got that tattoo on your head.
There's an abuse issue, and there's who knows what the hell. It's a mess.
I hate white supremacists so much. They might be on the top of the list of the biggest scumbaggiest people on earth.
They're not good people at all. Like you said, they're defending a losing proposition too, which makes it terrible there. They get Bolstad in cross-examination, and they tell him, they talk about how he's currently serving time in a correctional center while the trial's going on, and he had a probation violation stemming from drug charges back in the day. The cross-examination here goes on, and they basically, the defense tries to say that Bolstad didn't come forward with this information until he knew he was going back to prison on another thing.
Okay.
Which, that's what you do. Right. You're not going to get involved with some crazy white supremacist guy whose first time you met him flashing guns and asking you to join join gangs and shit like that, unless it's to get yourself out of prison.
For sure.
You know? So they asked him, are you making any of this up to help yourself out on the stand? And he, of course, said no.
No. But I'm definitely trying to help myself out.
yeah, I would say. Mottinger, Daniel's attorney, he attacked Bolstad's credibility, questioned whether investigators about their handling of evidence, too. He said they actually tried to say, like, you didn't have gloves on enough, including, this is part of his argument here, he's questioning these investigators about their handling of evidence, including how often they changed their gloves and whether they could have spread biological evidence from one piece of evidence to another, including a 9mm shell casing found in Daniel's bedroom that prosecutors say had Johnson's blood on it. They found a fucking head. They found a fucking head. They found a head.
James, let me ask you though.
It doesn't matter. None of that matters.
But I'm not very medical. I'm not well versed. If I take my gloves off, can that make that head then be my head? Is that how it works?
If you don't change your gloves enough, you can spread biological evidence from nothing into a head. That's how it works. If you don't change your gloves enough and there's some DNA, it'll turn into a head.
Does that make my DNA into that head?
The weirdest thing. No, it's somebody else's head. That's how it works. And then you'll be accused of killing them. It's really weird. So that's the thing, too, is the head, it's odd how it's under...
There's a fucking head!
There's a fucking head. DNA doesn't matter. Head. Just walking with a head under your arm.
You guys didn't change the gloves. But there's a fucking head.
If you find a head, anytime there's a head found, that's probably you. Let's just say here.
Fucking bananas.
And the fact that the muddy shit had his DNA all over it, Daniel's DNA. So he buried the fucking head.
It was a goddamn
Jesus. So Mottinger, this defense attorney, in his closing argument said there's no eyewitnesses, no way to prove his client pulled the trigger. He also asked the jury why Daniel would, quote, kill a white man for recognition from a white supremacist album. Because there's nobody the fuck else around. He had to go hunt black people in that town. There's only 7 of them.
98% white.
And they're hiding because they know this guy's in town, for Christ's sake.
They saw the machine gun and headed for the hills.
This Mottinger had the balls to say, quote, hint, guess, and suspicion are not and can never be enough. How about a fucking head? How about is that enough? You can't get any more physical. They say that there's no physical evidence. It's a head. That's so physical.
Buried in his crawl space.
You can pinch its ears. You can give it a haircut. How tangible is that?
Give it a fucking noogie.
Good fucking Jesus Christ.
Give it a wet willy.
Yeah, there you go. Holy Jesus Christ.
This is bananas. Like you don't, and it's not just like somebody hid it in his house. Nobody's going to go in your house, go into your basement, go into your crawl space, and bury a
and then
fucking
put your
head.
DNA on a bunch of shit and put everything in.
That's not how. That's not how frames work.
No, it's how, and nothing. He didn't say like I came in, my house was ransacked, and there was a head down there. Nothing. Everything. They didn't steal anything. Just planted a head.
And
on
they left their coveralls and the muddy boots.
Oh, but
Can't
somehow
walk that shit
put
through
my
the
DNA
house.
inside of those things. So, it's very odd.
They had a salt shaker with my DNA in it.
Yeah, you know how it works. So the prosecutor in the closing argument got up in front of the jury and just said, "Are you fucking kidding me? You got a fucking head in his goddamn house. No, this is bullshit. Are you kidding?" They just said, "Seriously?" No, he actually said, she actually said, quote, "You don't have to see Daniel pull the trigger to know that he did. Because there's a fucking head in his goddamn basement."
They didn't so much as put a couple of his hairs inside a book and put it on the bookcase.
No.
They put his fucking head in the crawl
It's his head. It's not a little drop of blood.
This is ridiculous.
It's a whole head. A whole head, too. Not even just a nose or a couple of teeth or an ear. It's a whole head. So, yeah, she also goes down the long list of DNA and just the mountain of impenetrable physical evidence.
Unanswerable questions.
This is a nuclear missile well of evidence here. So April 2012.
A friend of mine likes to say the evidence has to be definitive, not overwhelming. This shit ain't overwhelming. This is incredibly definitive.
This is just, you don't even need he should have pled guilty is what this is. This is
This is save your own life.
What are you doing, you moron here? Well, North Dakota does not have the death penalty.
Oh, that's nice.
If it did, he probably would have pled guilty.
At least try to plead guilty and plead down from fucking life forever.
But April 12th, 2012 is verdict time. Jury did not have a hard time with this one.
Sure.
They all came back and they were like, yeah, guilty.
Yeah.
The day they did it to would have been Kurt's 56th birthday.
Oh,
so
Jesus.
guilty on the dude's birthday. So that's something anyway. So July 8th, 2011, they finally call off the search for the body.
Okay.
It's been 6 months.
I mean, he's dead.
The animal, even if it's out there, it's now summer. Animals have taken it. You're never going to find this fucking guy. So they had low-flying planes. They've been searching the area since New Year's Eve. The sheriff said, quote, we've covered it. I feel we've covered it to the nth degree. Yeah. And I agree. They really did. Johnson's family even said they'd given up. They'd given up on waiting for his body to be located, and they just had a memorial service for him on, in July there.
How horrible is that, too? That the head has to be evidence until it's over, and then you bury the head.
Yeah.
So terrible.
I assume maybe after they found him guilty, they gave the family the head. Maybe, I don't know. They handed it to him. How do you give them that?
Back in a K-Swiss box or
yes,
some shit.
That's what I mean. You put it in like a shoebox.
What a terrible.
How do you do it?
That's
like a cooler, like it's a kidney or something. Like how do you do?
What's in the box? What's in the box?
Maybe that's how you do it. Middle of the desert, and then you go, huh? Yeah.
You have a FedEx box show up.
Look at that. You get it? Get it? That's the worst.
Too.
These poor family. Me too. These poor family. They're miserable. But yeah, that would be.
What a terrible way to get. Just any way of getting that back is a horrible way to get it. In the bag with the dryer sheet still in it.
We're good. Thanks.
Yeah. No, we don't want that.
The acting county, Griggs County State Attorney Marina Spar, for sentencing. The Johnson.
I just keep seeing Morgan Freeman and Brad Pitt. It's so bad.
You have to. For sentencing here, the Johnson family comes in too, and they're also speaking on behalf of the family, asking for a life sentence. They want the maximum life without parole.
Of course.
Corey Johnson, who's Kurt's brother, both K's by the way, they did a thing like that. Recalled the law enforcement officials meeting with his family after they searched Daniel's home. And he said, quote, Spar called me into the entryway to ask how my mother should be told about the details of the murder and the fact that he had been decapitated. Johnson said he told Spar, quote, you need to be honest to tell her the truth. So he's saying this in court for sentencing. So that's going to be... That's rough to hear if you're a jury. He would later tell the press about his mother, quote, she's strong, she's always has been. On January 1st, 2011, the children and family of Kurt Johnson received a lifetime sentence of memories and nightmares of his murder.
Jesus.
Our family will never be afforded the luxury of parole from these nightmares, and Dan Walk should never be afforded the luxury of parole. Daniel Walk can never walk out of prison a free man. The only way he can come out is in a pine box, or after what he did to my brother, a trash bag may be more appropriate.
My man.
A death sentence would have been the easy way out, he says.
Fuck.
So that's what he says.
That guy is not fucking around, and he's well educated.
With that kind of family is a well-educated family, so they all went to college and all that sort of thing. They lawyers ask. The prosecutors asked the judge to consider all of his 17 convictions in California. So he had 17 convictions, including auto thefts, burglary, and we went over the whole thing.
Corrections at all.
Yeah, the fact that he was a fugitive from justice when he did this, and the fact that the gun he used was stolen in Las Vegas on the way out there. So not only is it illegally possessed by a felon, it's a stolen gun illegally possessed. She said that he's failed all his adult life. He's failed every attempt to rehabilitate him.
No doubt.
Which I agree with. The judge asked Daniel if he has anything to say before sentencing, which is, at that point, you have to...
You better start begging, motherfucker.
You better start fucking, whatever. He said, quote...
Say, I'm sorry, 37,000 times.
This is the worst thing you could say. Quote, no, I don't have anything to say.
Oh, boy.
Fuck you. That says fuck you. Not even, I feel bad for I didn't do it, but I feel horrible for these people. If you're going to deny it, something.
I've got nothing. Sweet Pete.
He just said,
what a
got nothing to say.
He should have just said Sweet Pete.
That would have worked.
Sweet Pete.
Jeez.
I got nothing.
The judge cites all of his convictions. The judge asks everything. The defense attorney is asking the judge to sentence him with life with the possibility of parole, saying America's heritage is based on the hope of redemption.
What a white supremacist
Are you out of your fucking mind? No, not for this asshole.
No.
The judge says, I don't think so. He says, you, sir, may fuck off.
Yeah.
Get the hell out of here. Life in prison without the possibility of parole.
Good.
Take a fucking walk, asshole. So they get him out of there.
Yeah.
There was 45 people in the courtroom. They apparently were very, very excited about this. The mother and the siblings are all hugging each other, and law enforcement guys are all shaking each other's hands.
Yeah.
And they got this asshole out of here.
We got to get out of here. We got drunks to take home.
Yep, he wouldn't say shit after the sentencing.
Yeah.
They drove him off to prison in Bismarck. Mottinger, he's a court-appointed attorney, this
Really?
Mottinger, too. He's not even making money. He's
Poor
just a
guy.
public defender. He's trying to make a name for himself so he can go get a job at a law firm and
Right.
get the fuck out of Cooperstown, North Dakota.
Right.
He says that... he says you don't judge him because he didn't speak. He said he still has a constitutional right to maintain his innocence and did not speak in light of the appeal that we are filing today in state district court because this is bullshit. Wow.
Oh, that poor guy. He's saying everything right. It's just, dude, the fucking mountain you have to climb to help that guy at all is insanity.
It's ridiculous. So
you're better off you're going to need a Sherpa to climb that mountain.
You're going to need a couple of them, actually. You can't just pick that up by the neck and the waist and toss it into a van. It's not going to work. The press got a hold. They found Nico. The guy that he called and said was the leader of the whatever, they found him. It's one of his friends. It's Nicholas Schwartz is his name, Schwarz.
Is that Schwartz, a Jewish Schwartz?
No.
Okay, I want it to be Jewish Schwartz and be a white supremacist.
No. He says that this is someone that he met. They met in prison, and this they consider themselves brothers. And so they asked this Nico guy. They said, "What do you think about it?" And he just said. This is great. It's an unfair verdict. He didn't do it, and then he swore and hung up the phone, is what they said. Unfair verdict. He didn't do it. Fuck you, and hangs up. So, interesting as shit there. I love that.
Christ.
That's awesome right there. The residents of the town are still shook about it today because it's 80 years. They're not, they know everybody knew Johnson, too, so it was really hard. Some people say they still don't think that Walk did it. They said they met him while he was in town, and they didn't figure him as someone who was capable of such a brutal murder, and they still don't think he did it with a fucking head and DNA.
What do they think?
One woman said there's a lot more to it, but she said she would not. She doesn't want her name published for fear of retaliation.
What? Her last name is Walked, apparently, because that's fucking crazy.
They said another person said he appeared to use drugs and alcohol to excess regularly and seemed to hang out with others who did. So we don't know. Maybe it was one of them that did it.
Wait. Johnson appeared to drink, and is that what he's saying?
They said no.
Walked did.
Walked did all of that, and he hung out with other people.
Maybe his unsavory friends would have done that.
Yeah, he could have gone out for a ride to go see his friend in Cooperstown, north of Cooperstown,
and then somebody else was burying a head in his house.
Hey, I know where we'll bury the head. And the guy with the machine gun on his basement.
Machine gun head he's out of town.
He'll be fine with it, I'm sure. He won't be mad at all. And it's okay to piss him off. He's not armed and dangerous and on parole or anything, covered in swastika
in possession of a stolen weapon.
Yeah, no shit. Spar, the prosecutor, she said that first murder case in 80 years. The town is really shook up. She said, quote, "There are doors locked now that weren't locked before. I know they look at strangers twice now before they invite them into their lives in some way." That's the small town murder. That's exactly what that is. Yeah. It's doors are locked now that weren't locked before. That's what this show is.
And we check to make sure there's no extra tattoos on heads around town now.
Yes.
We are very careful.
We look at every goddamn tattoo. He appeals in 2013. He's saying that the evidence obtained in the search of the van should be suppressed because of the probable cause thing that we talked about before.
Okay.
He's saying that the right to free from free and unreasonable searches, to be free from unreasonable searches and seizures, he's claiming that, which is ridiculous, I believe, at this point here. Daniel argues that the fact that Johnson was last seen with him in his van isn't enough to establish probable cause to search his van. Seems like enough to me.
I would want to check it.
But the court says actually that's only one layer in the 25 other goddamn things that happened there.
There's only one dryer sheet in this box.
Yeah, exactly. Jesus Christ. He argues about the unreliableness of witnesses contained in of informants contained in the affidavit. He argues that the guy who said he shot the same shit he argued to get the things thrown out in the first place, he's now appealing on. The court ruled exactly the same, excluding Burge's statements. He's the guy who talked about the gunshots in the coffee table. We conclude probable cause still existed to issue a search warrant for Walk's van. After every dismissal of all of his arguments, 1 of the 3 judges, Burge, Schwartz, and Nicholas, agreed that the probable cause still existed to search, to issue a search warrant for Walk's van. I want the court to say, did we mention we found the guy's fucking head in this person's house? Huh? Is that a thing too? Okay, just that's why we're dismissing that. None of that. Your arguments, whether valid or not, we found a head, so we don't care.
Before you present this argument, are you about to tell me that was not a human fucking head? Because if you're not going to tell me that, then get the fuck out of this courtroom. Because there was a fucking head in your crawl space.
It's sitting on they have it on their mantle over there.
It's under all the bounce over there.
You don't smell it because there's a lot of bounce. They tried to argue that the information given by the witness that saw him toss Johnson into the van, the relative who reported Johnson missing, and the guy who does Kurt Johnson's snow removal are unreliable. Okay. Because they didn't include information in the affidavit about the reliability or reputation. Yeah. The guy said there's no footprints in the snow. I'd trust Forrest Gump to fucking tell me if there was footprints in the snow. I don't need to know his reputation or if he's reliable. Did you see footprints there? No? Okay.
And there's no footprints.
No footprints. I think he would have seen them. 3 feet of snow, I think a moron would see footprints. I'm not fucking, oh my God. So these are just, it's like you'd have to really look hard to find shit to even appeal in this, to what to do.
I feel bad for the defender. I really do. That's a really awful job to get.
He's in a tough spot, that guy. Can you imagine?
I can't.
Like, Jesus Christ.
Are you shitting me?
Seriously? You want me to? Okay, I guess I'll file it again.
We're going to move
That's
forward.
fine.
Here we go.
They, of course, say that the evidence is fine. It's supported by probable cause. They did not err in giving the warrant. He also he's fighting against the home warrant and all the evidence seized in the home warrant, like a head. Right. They quote a thing here, quote, in order to justify the search of a house, there must have been nexus between the house to be searched and the evidence sought, which there was, because they say, well, we know he came from his house with a gun. Right. So pretty sure he had a gun in his house. Right. So at that point, we're going to search there, because they actually watched him go from his house to work. Got it. So they were like, he left and he had, was still there. He even brings up in the appeal things that didn't actually come up in trial. Okay. So it's like it was evidence that was excluded from the trial, but they put it in the appeal. So they were like, this in the appeal ruling, they're like, this wasn't even in the trial. Right. So we don't even know why you're doing this. Right. Clearly, your lawyer sucks is basically what they said, and he's terrible at paperwork, and we had to read this shit for nothing. They talk about his, him saying that he's going to wants to start a gang, and the Bolstad conversation about wanting to start a gang, wanting to shoot people to tell everyone that they're here. Daniel argues that there's no purpose to admit this evidence except to show that he's a violent character, and therefore it should be excluded. Also, it says he said, I want to kill someone here to show who I am. And then 2 weeks later, he killed someone. So that's also kind of relevant at that point.
He also said he wanted to shoot a fucking cop during a traffic stop.
Thing.
The things he's saying are crazy.
That wasn't even included. That was excluded from the trial. So he put that in the appeal, but it was ridiculous. He tried to get the evidence that he got work done on his gun excluded, all that sort of thing. They said, no, I don't think so. That's all fine, too, because that was in December of 2010. And they said that was in the same time he was talking about shooting people. Yeah. So he talking about shooting people and getting his gun fixed. Right. Seems like you're fixing to shoot somebody. Let's put it that way.
You're so cute, James.
Fuck, man.
Fixing to shoot.
You're fixing to pop a cap in somebody's head. So Wacht argues here. This is the worst one. Yeah. He argues that there's insufficient evidence to convict him of the murder of Kurt Johnson. It says, quote, this court will reverse a criminal conviction only if, after viewing the evidence and all reasonable evidentiary inferences in the light most favorable to the verdict, no rational fact finder could have found the defendant guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. So that's how you'd have to. That's your ground for an appeal here. You need that. Right. Does any of that sound like he's going to get to that with a head under his? No, doesn't think so. No. They said the evidence. The court actually, their answer to this was, quote, the evidence of Wacht's guilt was overwhelming. That's
good.
It.
There you go.
That's their statement to that. They don't even care. They said there was definitely sufficient evidence for the jury to convict him. There's a juror problem too, a juror challenge, and this is one of those small town things here. Yeah. And it's so small, if you put it in another area, it's going to be so far away that no one can get to it. It's so weird when you're in these rural areas like this. One of the jurors was challenged for cause at trial, ended up serving on the jury because one of his siblings was murdered. He was back years ago. Yeah. He was also distantly related to Kurt Johnson through marriage, but never met him and didn't know him personally. But he knew once it all came out, he knew of him, that he was distantly related to him by marriage.
Okay.
He says that he didn't hold any bias or implied anything against Daniel. He said he didn't know Kurt Johnson, and he feels like he can be fair.
Sure.
Yeah. And also, you had a fucking head in your basement. That's the other thing. So it really
it's
doesn't
trials
matter.
like these, like if I were a judge or something, or even participating in this trial
Everything
at all,
you argue, you'd go, you know about the head, right?
Right.
I'd to hold a picture. I'd have it sitting on my desk the whole time, and I just pat him on top of the head every time they said something. Really?
I'd be afraid to participate in any of this and accidentally say something like, have you lost your head or some shit like that?
Uses molars to crush walnuts. Be like, what was that now? Nut? Nut? Can I get you one? Fuck, man. I swear to God. Crunch. You know there's a head here, right? This isn't... This is a head.
Open beer bottles with the mouth during the drop.
Oh, my God. Yeah. See what I got here? It's a head. Just in case you want to come take a peek closer. Take a picture if you want. I don't know.
Holy Christ.
Final judgment here is they affirm the criminal judgment finding Daniel Evan Walk guilty of murder. 2014 applies for post-conviction relief in the North Dakota State Supreme Court. Again, the witness, the juror with the distantly related to Johnson, claims that they failed to... He claims that his attorney failed to object to the admission of a pair of latex gloves at trial. So because of that, he's has ineffective assistance of counsel. That guy tried his best. Dude, how do you argue this mountain of evidence?
Anybody in this entire thing that you just be like, he did everything he could do.
Everything he could. Said the whole deal. The exact same thing. He said the Jason Bolstad thing. He tries to claim that Bolstad was going to prison for drug trafficking and that the federal government might indict him.
Right.
So he should, said that he should, all he needed to do is somebody said that they told Jason that all you need to do is testify against somebody to get out of this sort of thing, which may be true, and he might be making the whole thing up to get out of it. I don't know if Bolstad tells us. It doesn't matter, because there's a head in his fucking basement. So Jason Bolstad, when they questioned him about that, he said, "quote There are plenty of other inmates around here with open cases. You just had to get a little information to make yourself credible, and then make the rest up. And that the state's attorney will tell you what they need you to say and how to answer all the questions anyway." This is a guy, witness, saying that he said this to Jason Bolstad.
It's easy to get a statement out of somebody.
I'm sorry. This is what he's saying Jason Bolstad said to him.
Oh, okay.
A witness, which that might be true. It really might be. Yeah. But unless Jason Bolstad said, I broke in and buried a head in his basement, I'm not fucking interested, and I don't really care. Shit. Yeah, denied. Neither does the court. Take a hike. There's a head in your basement. 2016... post-conviction relief again. He's saying that his Fourth Amendment rights were violated, illegal search and seizure. It's the same exact shit again. And once again, the court denies his petition under for habeas corpus relief. And he's shit out of luck at that point. That's
it.
He's pretty fucked.
Just
unless
go do your
something
time,
new
fuckface.
comes up, he's done forever. In 2017, they talked to Kelly Saad, the bartender, actually, and she's like messed up from it, actually.
Sad?
She's a little sad. She said, quote, "It could have been anybody. I took it very hard." She said, "It was a long time before I felt it wasn't my fault. There was music going on, groups here, groups there. She couldn't do it. She feels terrible that she just didn't monitor the situation better. And she feels like she could have gotten him a ride home from someone who wasn't, machine gun head.
You did your best.
She's busy. It's New Year's Eve. She's a bartender. She can't babysit everyone. There hasn't been a murder in 80 years. Who is she going to think, well, if I send him home with that guy, he's probably going to cut his head off. So, no, I'll send him home with Bill instead. No, she did her best. I feel bad for her.
Bartenders, they're like babysitters.
They are.
I feel bad for them.
Daniel Evan Wacht is in the North Dakota State Penitentiary in Bismarck, serving life. No release date whatsoever. Shit out of luck up there. So if you want to write him a letter and call him a douchebag, you can do that. That is Cooperstown, North Dakota.
Holy shit.
That is Daniel Evan Wacht and poor Kurt Johnson. I feel really bad for old Kurt Douglas Johnson and his whole family. They seem like nice people, and he's a guy who just didn't deserve to.
No.
He didn't do anything to anybody.
No.
Didn't deserve to go out like that. He was just trying to be a nice guy.
On New Year's Eve, as a divorced guy. Right.
Well, I'd have some, maybe he was trying to get laid.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Hey,
probably.
maybe I'll meet a woman tonight. This will
Right.
be great. Somebody I haven't seen 400 times since, everyone's the same people.
What a terrible thing.
Wow. So if you like that story, story, you're a sick bastard, but
that's true.
We love you for it because we like it too, and we're sick bastards also. And you can show us how sick you are by going on iTunes and giving us 5 stars.
Yes.
That would be wonderful. It helps us out so much on the business end. Like we said, if you want to do more like our fantastic producers who we're going to talk about in one moment, you can do that by going to patreon.com/crimeinsports. You can make a donation, one-time donation over at PayPal using our email address, crimeinsports@gmail.com.
That's the one.
Do not forget, hope we see you in Chicago tonight.
Yes.
If not, hope we see you in Detroit February 16th
Yes.
or Boston at Laugh Boston February 18th. There are links, by the way, in the show description for all this stuff. Or in Phoenix, Arizona at Stand Up Live.
March 25th.
That is just Small Town Murder, one show. If you want to follow us on social media, you can do that on Twitter at MurderSmall, Facebook.com/SmallTownPod. That is us. And here is a group of people who are heroes to us. And honestly, we love these people more than this guy loves to bury heads. So more than he loves Himmler and Hitler and Rudolf Hess.
And 14 short word sentences.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
So hit us with that list, Jimmy.
Real quick, I just want to give it a quick explanation for people overseas. People overseas have asked several times, what the fuck, who is Andrew Jackson? Andrew Jackson was a racist, sexist asshole that founded this country.
He didn't found shit. He did not.
He wasn't alive when we founded the country.
He was alive, but he wasn't anywhere.
He wasn't
in
part
politics.
of that. Wasn't he like a soldier or something?
No, 1830s.
A general or something.
1830s. Yes, in the 1830s.
Oh, in the 1830s.
He was president in the 1830s.
See, I don't know fuck about history.
He made
James.
all the. Yeah, I'm huge into the. That's the thing. Yes, North and South Carolina were Carolina. So, and yes, we know West Virginia and Virginia. Stop saying Jimmy was right because he's not right. He didn't have any fucking idea what he was talking about. He was just naming states that had more than one. He didn't say, I thought West Virginia split from Virginia. No, you can't be right by accident. You can't be.
Didn't New Mexico
you can be correct,
say that they didn't want to be a part of Mexico?
No, that's what happened. They said, we're New Mexico. Yes, and at one point it was Mexico, so technically you're right again. See what happens here? This is the problem. God damn it.
So I say accidentally racist things, I suppose.
Whether you like him or not, he's definitely racist. He was definitely a hardcore racist.
That's why they call me. That's why James calls me. My moment's the Andrew Jackson moment of the show.
Yes,
and this week, there wasn't one because this guy was super Andrew Jackson.
Yeah, he was Andrew Jackson
just
himself.
as Andrew Jackson as it gets. The other thing is that we had one of our listeners pass away in England. Hannah was suffering from vasculitis. So if you want to donate to a vasculitis cause, please do that.
And if you know who we're talking about, don't bother with the family. They're having a tough time right now.
It's not the easiest thing.
It's a tough thing, and but we were going to miss Hannah a lot.
Bummed,
so
kind of bummed about it.
Yeah, definitely.
Anyhow, I'll try to get beyond that. Our executive producers again this week were Jess and Chrissy. Chrissy Ankestaldi and Jess Landgren are fantastic ladies.
Thank
you both for supporting and continue supporting us every goddamn week. It's incredible. And then there we had Elena Frederick, I believe is how you pronounce her name. There are so many E's in her name. There's 2 in her first name, and then there's 3 in her last name. There's a third one at the end of Frederick. It's ridiculous.
Oh, wow.
Rachel Howard, Lena or Lina Ramirez. I don't want to pronounce that wrong.
Lino Lakes, Lino, you're going to get tweets for the next 6 months.
I have no
Trust
idea.
me.
Robert Combs, Tina Herinen. They were. As I was writing this list, I was like, "These are so easy this week."
I'm going to kill it this week.
I'm four names in, and I'm already stumbling.
Crushing it this week.
Otilia Abraham, Lisa Harbin, Tyler Shaw, Dirk Haley or Hallie. I don't. I think I've done that before on Hallie. It may be Haley.
I think that goes from person to person.
Sure does. Just like every name. Yeah. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, just like you can call your town Iowa and it's spelled like Iowa. Yeah, exactly.
No last name, just Chris. Spazzy Moonchild, Maddie Finley, Mike Kennedy. Mike Kennedy is terrific, by the way.
Thank you.
The guy donates every week. He changes it up,
we really appreciate that
Lindsay
so much.
Ray, Kelsey Hebert, Jamie Harder, Jonathan Hool. That guy also, too. He's amazing. He's donated so many different ways, and I can't thank you. I can't thank you enough, Jonathan. Thank you.
That's so awesome. Thank you,
Adam
man.
Hansen, Joe Fichot, and Carrie up in Portland. They're unbelievable. They send me so many emails, or not emails, snaps and of their dogs. They're terrific.
By the way,
young
real
ladies.
quick, shout out to people. If any of you are in Seattle, we're trying to get to we're trying to do a live show in Seattle. That's the next one we want to do. Next one we want to book, and we've contacted several of your venues and clubs. Nobody will fucking return shit. Nothing. I don't know. They don't want to sell out.
Maybe it's you guys.
I don't understand what it is.
You guys have to do it.
But maybe you guys have to hit them up because we don't have an agent and we don't have managers and we don't have that shit.
We do it on our own.
We're fucking comedians and we do this shit on our own and we try to, keep it in house, and so
Katie Heisel's up there too, the girl that makes our map every week.
Yeah, we don't have anybody to represent us, and a lot of these companies, a lot of these places, even if you can fucking sell out, which we can sell Small Town Murder out pretty much anywhere in the country, I think at this point, they still won't give you the time of goddamn day because the comedy business is fucking disgusting, and there's why we don't have a manager they can then jerk off the next week. That's why. Right. So cut out that middleman, please, and contact your clubs in Seattle and tell them, hey, guess what?
Or
we
Portland,
need Small Town Murder.
Portland, just the Pacific Northwest.
Portland too, but Seattle because I'm pissed off at them right now because they think they're fucking hot shit and they can't return a fucking call for. You know what? Then we won't sell out your building. I'll put 300 fucking chairs in a field somewhere and we'll go sit there and we won't charge anybody anything. You can fuck yourselves. How's that?
So
contact
you,
your clubs. Thank you.
James Cook, Dita Vasquez, Tiffany Daniels, Kenneth R. Garrity. I want that to be Pat Garrity's cousin or some shit. I don't know. I see Garrity, and it's probably spelled differently, but just a cool name.
Yeah.
Angel Cantwell, George Salam. Sorry, George. Your last name is fucking brutal.
Salome?
Craig Butel. See, now I get two in a row that I can't fucking do.
Wait a sec. What's that name?
Saloom. Saloum. Oh, Butel. Craig L. Butel. B-E-U-T-L. Yeah, T-E-L. Yeah, that's Butel, right?
I know that guy.
Do you really?
Thanks, Craig. I know Craig. Thanks, man.
Craig
Appreciate
Butel.
it, brother.
Thanks, Craig.
Thank you.
And did I get it right? Was it Butel?
It's Butel, actually, but that's fine.
Well,
People
welcome,
mispronounce
Butel.
it. He's from Iowa. He wouldn't care.
All right.
He's very mild.
Cassidy Marsh, Ingrid Stalk in Norway with their North Korea bucks yet again. Every fucking week. Thank
that
you,
was so
Ingrid.
cool.
Stephanie Walters Henriksen. There's no D. It's just Henriksen.
Oh, okay.
I think that was right.
Fair
Did I
enough.
write that right? I hope so. Fuck, Henriksen. Michelle Walter, Rob Madursky, Seymour Butts, which you're a fucking goofball. I like it.
We'll take it. Thank you. We love you
Deanna
anyway.
or Dina Jones, William McClellan in Scotland. He donated again. Thanks, Bill.
Thank you.
Rebecca Manners, Natalie Hodson, Sarah Lindsay, Mark French, Janice Hill, Tyler Hunt, Retta Cruz. Actually, her son Levi got her to listen to the show, and now she fucking loves it. So thank you both, Retta and Levi, for listening and getting your mom into it. That's fucking dope,
so
bro.
cool, yeah.
You got the coolest
I love when
mom
people
ever.
listen together.
Yeah.
Because that's one thing, like podcasts are a very individual thing. You put your earphones in, you sit there.
It's
when
so
people
personal.
listen together, it's like old time, like family sitting around watching TV. You know what I mean? Like it's like, oh, we're all into the same show.
We're all listening to this. But back then,
people don't do that anymore.
Right. They don't sit and listen to the radio
everything's,
together.
Everything's internalized, your own thing. My pad and my screen, and
So when you're talking about it,
that's cool. Thank you, guys.
Part. Kim Hewitt, Katie Johnson, Christina Woog, W-O-O-G. That's a tough one.
Yeah, Woog.
It's just Woog, right?
Woog. I don't know.
I don't want to fuck it up. I don't know. Sarah Stokes, Zach Pearson, Ryan Wroblewski with a W. So Wroblewski. There's a W on the front. Does that make sense?
Wroblewski?
Wroblewski?
Wroblewski.
It's a tough one.
I'm sure it's not correct.
That's got to be a brutal way to go through life. Elisa
Pietragallo,
Godinez.
thank you. It's fine. You're fine, Wroblewski, or whatever your name is. You're doing great.
But with a W, that's
Wroblewski.
fucking extra shitty. That's
true. That doesn't
just
help
ruins
any.
everything. I got a silent W on the front of my name. Oh, I'm sorry.
I have an I, so I get it.
That's the worst.
It's bad.
Eliza Godinewski? G-O-D, I think that's what I wrote.
The Polish are fucking...
Did I say Godinewski?
Yeah.
No, it's Godinez. What am I doing?
Yeah, I was like, the Polish tonight are coming in full force. Good Lord.
So many Poles.
I'm eating pierogies later. Fuck this.
Sam Coakley, Jennifer Dedrick, Matt Jarrett, L. Michelle Leatherman. L. Michelle? It must be like Lynn or Lisa or something. I don't know. L. Michelle Leatherman. Liam Feltman. Naima Shea. I think it's Naima. N-A-I-M-A. That's Naima.
Yeah, Naima.
Right? Naima Shea. Jillian, Jesus. Anderson, and in my head I say Hernandez. How does that even happen? How do you even do that?
Any idea how you put those
Jillian
together?
Anderson, Slate, Annette Wright, Sean Hoxie, S-H-E-A-N, Sean, Jesse Bostian or Bostian, Beth. What the fuck am I doing?
Over there.
Beth Denkinger, Big Papa Ponce, or Ponce, I don't know. Tara Bridges, Odom, Armando Rodriguez, Caleb Hartung, Jenny Kay and Rodney, Rob Walters, Nick Laycock, again with that last name. That's a brutal last name.
Yeah, that's tough.
It's fucking dope, but I don't know. I don't know if it's great or if it sucks.
I don't know if it's great or if it sucks.
It's great because
it's all of what you make. It's what you make of it, honestly, I think.
Siren Johnsgar, she also sent some North Korea bucks from Norway. Thank you.
Thank you.
Daryl L., Emily Irvin, Shannon Ruger, Jonathan Desmond, Megan Schmelzenbach. Jesus.
That's the one. When I saw that donation, I laughed and went, oh, Jimmy's going to, I love it.
Schmelzenbach. I got it. God damn it. Rachel Smith, Stacy Huffaker, Devin Ray, Julia Schuster, Melissa Poole, Nicholas Knezevich.
Yes.
Knezevich.
Yes.
I think he said you pronounced the K. I think you're supposed to, so it's Knezevich. Kelly McLaughlin, huge thank you to you. I appreciate that. Was it. Unbelievably generous donation. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so
much. Mike O'Neill,
honestly.
another one. Thank you so much.
You guys are...
Cat Lady Created. I don't know what that is. I think that's a business. So Google Cat Lady Created
give them some business.
Buy her shit.
Yeah.
Hannah Just, Melissa Hoover, ARRB. I don't know what that is. If it's a business, there was nothing extra to it.
Yeah. of Animal Retail.
I think it was ARRB. Was it ARRB?
Oh, I thought it was AARB.
No, ARRB.
Oh, Association of Retail.
Rental breakfast? I don't know.
Boulevard.
Right,
yes.
Something like that.
Yes.
Candace Horner, Kelsey Perkins, Arlene So, Anna Schwartz, thank you so much also. That was a nice donation.
Yes, thank you.
Dana Losi, Sarah Gilbo donated twice today. Thank you, Sarah.
Wow, thank you,
Molly
Sarah.
Parker, Stacy Huffaker, again, I guess she donated twice. I didn't even... I'm
That's
an asshole.
so nice. Thank you,
Stacy. Teresa Schufel plug. That word. Did you see that one?
Yeah.
SCHEUCHENPFLUG.
Fuck
nope.
yeah.
Fuck
I love
that
it. That's
name.
a good one. That's a good one.
She wrote me and told me, because she donated before and told me that I completely fucked it. And I said, listen,
Jesus.
You give that to anybody, they're going to fuck it.
I wonder
Nobody's
what the
going to make that
percentage
right.
of people that have ever gotten that right is.
I'm zero.
Yeah,
fucking her. That's it.
Her grandmother.
Shushenflug. I don't know. Dulcie Thompson. Dulcie Thompson. Michael Euler. He's on Twitter,
cool.
too. Thanks, Mike. I
Thanks,
appreciate
Mike.
you, brother. Stephen Mace. Jeremy Ramon. Marika Sand or Marika. It may be Marika. I know people did pronounce it like that. It's 2 Ks, though, in Marika. It's Marika. Marika Sand. Jane Richards. I'm fucking wrong.
No,
Jane she's going, he's a fucking dipshit. Jane Richards. Katie Miranda. Majeline Spitzy.
Wow. Okay.
Nope.
I would probably not. I'm going to go.
And Matt Kleeman sent a nice donation too. Matt, thank you all so much.
Thank you, everybody.
You guys were amazing this week. From the interaction, I went through a tough one this week. I was quite fucking depressed, and it wasn't an easy week to get through, and you guys helped out tremendously. So thanks for your support, whether it's a donation or it's a comment on Facebook, Twitter, or Snapchat, whatever.
Yeah, guys.
You can find me at Whisman Sucks, WHISMAN Sucks, on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. If you want to see my meltdowns throughout the week, feel free.
You guys are the best, really. You keep us sane as we can be, and
we can't do this without you.
You do
That's
everything for us, man. It really is. You guys have become like a giant extended family to us. We really appreciate it, and that's how we consider you guys. So we thank you guys for letting us into your worlds, into your earbuds, into your cubicle, into your commute, into your workout or whatever.
And if you want to,
it is,
if you want to involve somebody like a podcast creator in that life, you can find James. Where at, James?
You can find me at Jimmy P is funny, or try to spell my last name. Good luck. Like I said before, there's an I in there. Try to find it. Cut and paste from the show description, and be smart about it.
Yes.
Do that. Find me there. All that. I'm very busy with research and shit, but I hit everybody up as soon as I can. And thank you. And I read everything. And goddamn it, am I incredibly appreciative for that. And wow, guys, until then, it's been a crazy story.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for showing up.
Yeah.
See you in Chicago, hopefully.
Yeah.
Until next week, guys, where you will get a live show next week we're going to release to show you how fun it is.
There's your surprise.
There's your surprise. Until next week, guys, it's been our pleasure.
Bye.